Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Gamer Dads. Today, you already know Marv and I. So today, we just want to introduce our very special guest, our good friend Jon Ong. Hi, John.
Hi guys.
So
Hello.
maybe you just start with just introducing yourself. Up to you, lah. How you want to introduce yourself? What you want to share?
So I'm Jon Ong, and I do music for a living. I'm a composer, and I've also known these guys for a long time. We have spent a lot of time together in virtual realms, on many adventures, just great to be here, and just great to hang out with you guys again.
Yeah. Actually, how long have you known John? Since when?
Legion, right?
Or is it Legion?
Probably, I would say. Yeah.
Can I ask? I can't remember who brought you in.
Ian did.
Ian Kwan.
Ian was the one, yeah.
At least you heard that. It's Kwan.
Hey, you don't want to cause another more trouble, right?
What's your gamer nick, John?
Okri.
Yeah.
Oak.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
Okri.
Yeah.
Is there a history behind that name?
It was actually a randomly generated name from another game that I just kept for
Really?
a while. Yeah.
What game was it?
It was a Star Wars mobile game.
Oh.
Oh, I remember
So
you
was
were
it-
playing that mobile game before you came to WoW.
Was it
Yeah,
Galaxy of Heroes? Is it Galaxy of Heroes? Is that what it's called?
No, it was a like a Diablo style type of slasher thing. You're basically like a initially you're just like a bounty hunter, but then eventually they added a lightsaber and you can become a Jedi and stuff. But then eventually the game closed down because it was bleeding money or something like that. It was a small company that I think was in over its head. Like it got too popular and it couldn't sustain it.
Suffering
But
from success.
I forget the name of the game now. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do. There were guilds and it was just it's just Star Wars.
How much did you
Everyone loves
spend?
Star Wars.
How much did you spend on it?
I don't think I spent any money on it. Actually.
Wow.
I just paid a lot. I paid a lot. Yeah.
That's why they went bust. They didn't have enough microtransactions for you to spend.
They had a lot actually. They had what you call whales, people who would just pour money into a game. Yeah, there were a few whales, and one spent so much money that he got a shout out from the devs on like an update screen. You know, he saved the rebellion or something like that. Like that was
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I remember that thinking like, oh my gosh, how much did this guy spend on this game he got written into the the exposition.
lore.
But it was apparently like a legit what do you call it, sanctioned canon like story. So it talked about the sisters, what do you call them? You know, the ones in the latest Jedi Outcast, the
Night
not Jedi
Sisters.
Outcast. Yeah. So it talked about the Night Sisters and all that stuff. So it was all like approved at the time, So it was a bummer that it went away. But yeah.
Is this
after
pre like Disney Star Wars?
Was Legion? It was before Legion, so was that pre? Was that
I think it was
Disney first?
can't be
Was it
no,
the first one?
already, right?
No, it's not pre. It should be post.
Yeah, it's
really.
post. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was after the first one. I think it was in between or something like that. Because each movie I think took a few years to come out, right? So yeah.
Anyway, Legion was in 2016, so we've known John.
Star Wars was like for 5 years.
Yeah, we've known John for 5 years.
Yeah.
Feels a lot longer though. Only 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Did you know him before?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should know him before, right?
I knew him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew Liz first. That's in church.
So the real friendship is Liz. Okay, let's get Liz on.
Yeah.
And John, you can sub up.
I don't think you're gonna get her on.
Good luck, I guess. Not gonna happen, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I want to move us to a little bit of a different topic. Not strictly gaming or music related, but have you guys been watching the Olympics?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So out of all the what have you been watching?
Me. all kinds of stuff. We enjoy watching all kinds of different things. Obviously the big events like the swimming stuff we've watched. I enjoy kind of like the the quieter events. We watched some archery, BMX, which was fun. Skateboarding, which I can appreciate. This will relate to the channel, I guess, because I used to play a lot of Tony Hawk back in the day, so I can appreciate the skateboarding stuff. So that was fun to watch. I think it's it's skateboarding's first time at the Olympics this year. As well. So it was a big moment for the skateboarding culture and everything. So Tony Hawk was there.
Was he? But not participating, right?
No, he's way too old. But he did like a warm up.
He's like 40 plus already.
Right? Yeah, maybe older, I think, because his son is, I think, in his 20s or something now. Yeah, his son's name is Riley, and he's a very much a grown man.
Is he doing skateboarding as well?
Yeah. He does skate. Yeah, but different style from Tony Hawk. So Tony Hawk is a bowl, like a half pipe skater type of thing. Yeah. He does all the big air tricks. The son is a street skater, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Okay. So like a lot of like on the ground, more grinds on the rails and everything.
Yeah. So it's like two different worlds. So at the Olympics, is all street skating. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they don't have any bowl or half pipe at all at the games.
I thought I saw one, but from what I saw from the finals and everything, it was all street, and they would treat it like gymnastics, where you would do one obstacle, and then you get graded for how you perform on that one obstacle, and then your best score will be taken. So you can try multiple times, and then your best score will be taken.
How do they, because gymnastics work, I just found this out recently. Gymnastics works on a deduction basis. So they start you off with 10 points, and for every fault you do, and it can be, a fault is like, let's say if you don't arch your feet, let's say if you arch your feet, instead of flexing it, that's like 0.1, and they deduct it off that. Is that the same for skating, you think?
I think it's cumulative. Cumulative. Yeah. But
okay.
I don't know all the intricacies of that. But yeah, it was interesting to watch, because apparently the one this guy from the US who was supposed to win, who was world number 1, he got 6th place or something like that.
Whoa!
So, yeah. So
as in, did he quite an upset. Bomb out?
Yeah, he bombed out. He couldn't land. Like, he kept trying again and again to land a grind on this railing. Yeah, and he just couldn't land it. Yeah, so it's always like that, I guess, with sports and stuff.
Who
performance
won?
stuff, right? A Japanese guy, actually.
Nihonjin, Japanese.
Yeah.
They got home ground advantage lah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was very hot apparently, so I don't know if that's home ground advantage, you can.
It's like how Japan beat China in the mixed doubles table tennis, right? They beat the favorites.
But there are no fans to give the feeling of home ground advantage anymore, in my opinion. So maybe this.
But it's not just the fans lah, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe it's just the place, or like
being
the food.
It's like being on your own soil and
they can send an athlete every event, right? Because they're the host country. Even though
I don't know about this.
I think they do. Yeah. Like, if you're the host country, you can send an athlete for each event. Of course, because I think you have to usually have to qualify for the Olympics, right? And they have a qualification, depend on the sport. They have qualifications at every level. But then, if I'm not wrong, at the Olympics, you can send, as a host country, you can send an athlete. But of course, whether they bomb out in the heats or not is a separate issue.
Oh yeah, so Chris says the Japanese won both the men and women skating events.
Wow. Yeah. Were they? I want to know whether they were even were they totally dark horse, or were they like world number 3 or number 4? Because then everybody expects you to get it anyway.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I think they were dark horse for skating. I don't think they were expected to win the skating. Not skating, the skateboarding. Sorry, I know skateboarding they weren't expected to win. But I don't know about the skating events.
Yeah. So have you played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, the new ones?
No, I haven't. It's on my list of things to revisit. But I guess it will never be the same, because I played it on a console? Was it PlayStation or something? Yeah, one of the old ones. Yeah.
When the graphics were like super twee, right?
But I mean, it's relative. Your memory.
I mean, back then it was awesome, lah, right?
Yeah, so your memory of it is as though you're playing a game now, in a sense of like not maybe a RTX level game, but like just a
Yeah.
regular 1080p game. I remember it that way. So yeah, I haven't revisited it yet, and I know it won't be the same. So maybe I'm subconsciously, you know,
Mm.
happy to leave it as it is.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like me
That
trying to
was
go
really
and play
fun.
Halo now.
Oh
You
yeah,
know the
Halo
story,
is very
John? Do you know
Halo
the
is very
story?
outdated.
Do you know the story? The Halo story with me. So
No, I
so I've
don't.
never played Halo. Have you played Halo? Did you play
I
Halo
have
when you were a kid? Okay. So I've
no
never played
only
Halo.
recent times. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've never played Halo before. And you know how our circle of friends, like, I think everybody has played Halo. Or at least everybody from our age group has played Halo, right? Um,
I guess.
so you know the Master Chief Collection came out recently? I think it was like last
No.
month, right?
No, no, no. No, no. Last, as in, they released it in waves now. So like I think Reach came out last year, but then
Oh,
like every
okay.
few months they would introduce like Halo 1,
Yeah.
Halo 2,
So
Halo
so I
3.
bought
Now
the
it's full.
collection last month because it was on sale, Steam sale lah. And they had
Oh,
all the remastered versions. And then Ian, as in Ian Chu, he bet that
yeah.
I wouldn't make it through Halo 1. So I played
Okay.
1 hour of remastered Halo 1 and then I stopped. I was like,
Okay.
I can't do this anymore. Then I closed the thing.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
it's so bad. You
Was
can't
it
even
too
sprint.
chunky?
You can't
Oh,
even sprint. There's no ADS, I think. Right?
okay.
There's no aim down sights, right?
No, not in Halo 1.
Yeah. So I was like, how is this like the greatest game of all time?
No, there's ADS, but not for your assault rifle, not for your basic
Yeah,
rifle.
some of them lah. Yeah, correct. But yeah, I remember there was no sprint also. Yeah, but I like what you said lah. I mean, I guess at that time, how many years is it? Like
At the time,
20
it was
years
very
ago?
cutting edge. I mean, you look at the graphics that you see now; still pretty awesome, I think. But so imagine back then, it would have been, like a
Mind-blowing.
really cutting edge thing to run. I think.
Yeah lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What about Marv? What have you been watching?
Just the stuff that Singaporeans are in lah, right? Table tennis, swimming,
Okay, yeah.
badminton.
Yeah.
I mean,
Except sailing.
I
You have
mean,
not been watching sailing.
the rowing was damn boring. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it was so boring, but yeah. I've watched other stuff also lah, like cause Sherilyn, my wife, she likes volleyball, so we were watching volleyball the other day. And then, so have you
Yeah.
watched volleyball, like Olympics volleyball?
I have. Yep.
So I've never watched volleyball in my life. It's my first time watching
Oh,
an actual
Okay.
volleyball match, like a professional volleyball match. It was very
Oh,
funny
wow.
because there's this, like in the team, right? And there's this like one lady. It was women's lah. So one of the women is like she's wearing a different color, like
yeah, the libero.
yeah, and she's super short.
Yeah.
She's like at their shoulders.
Yep.
They are like one head or more taller than her. And then when they huddle, right,
Yeah.
she's like at their chest level, and then you can only see like the top of her head.
It's like a little kid.
Damn cute. But I realized that that person can be super vital because they're like the defender,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's the defensive specialist. The libero.
Chris is saying like, please go and watch Haikyuu. I guess it's the
Yeah.
anime, right?
Yeah, it's such an awesome anime. I tell you, when you watch that, you'll be like, oh, I want to watch more volleyball.
Okay lah, but it was
Okay.
interesting lah. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think it was USA versus. Wow, I can't remember. What was the other team. I watched
Yeah.
like 2 sets. Yeah. And then I went to play FMB, Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I've been. I've had an epiphany in these Olympic Games. Firstly, I'm just very interested by how some countries you never thought are good at certain sports. Then they come in, you're like, huh? I didn't know this country was good at it. But I realized that, okay, firstly, I had an epiphany recently when I watched the weightlifting, because I'm a
Oh, yeah.
I'm a
I've been
weightlifter,
watching
so I
weightlifting,
enjoy
yeah.
watching professional weightlifting, right?
Yep.
So I don't know if John knows, but the elite weightlifters in most classes are the Chinese. Like the Chinese are favored to win the gold in almost every weight class.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So yeah, so when you watch the weightlifters, how the weightlifters work is that the weight on the barbell, there's only one barbell that everybody lifts. It only goes up. So let's say if within the three of us, let's say Marv says he's gonna lift 100 kilos.
Yeah.
And then you say you're gonna lift 110, and I say I'm gonna lift 120. right? So that means basically between the two of you, you guys will lift first, right? I won't even touch the bar until I'm ready to lift my heavy weight. So I had an epiphany recently, which is I realized that every athlete at the Olympic Games, right? Every athlete is like world class. They are at the top of the game. Like we can't even begin to comprehend how elite they are. It's just that in the face of total like dominance by other athletes who are at the top of their game, they seem like like you see the swimmers, they're like you see some of the slower swimmers. Like Joseph Schooling swam at what, 53 for seconds for the 100-meter butterfly. It's like it's slow compared to the other athletes, but it's like no one in Singapore will be able to swim 53-second butterfly.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And then, that's my first level of athlete. Everybody is really good. Then you have, of course, the athletes which are the podium winners, right? Who are elite at their sport. They're elites, even among the elites. But they have maybe some wiggle room that people can kind of chase after them a little bit. But then the reason why I bring the weightlifting is because there are athletes like, there's this guy called Shi Ziyong. He's a Chinese weightlifter. He lives at the 73 kilo weight class.
Okay. What is your weight class, by the way? Just to get a perspective.
I'm like 81.
Okay.
I'm heavier than his, but he lifts like double my weights. So he's lighter than me, and he lifts double my weights.
Double. I see.
Yeah, but the funny thing about him is that he's on a different level. So there are the elite levels who podiums. He's not even chasing other people. He's chasing his own world record. Like
I see.
Everybody he lifts 20 kilos more than all the other athletes. So before he even lifted his first weight, you get 3 lifts, 3 attempts. Everybody had finished their lifts. So between the two of us, let's say we lift ready. And then basically you just come out and lift one time and you already beat us just with your first lift. Yeah. So I was just, wow. I realized that there are some people who are really so dominant that it's not even comparable. Yeah.
Sure, I just got reminded that there's someone in Singapore who swam faster than 53 seconds.
Kwa Zheng-wen, right? Okay, sorry. Shout out to Kwa Zheng-wen. I'm
He's
so
like,
sorry.
am I a joke to you?
Sorry, Kwa Zheng-wen. We love you as well.
Okay. So regarding weightlifting, right? So, International Weightlifting Federation weight classes. So, Ian, you would be at the 81.
81.
That means you have to be below 81 kg.
Yep, I'm 80 kilos.
Yeah, there's another category at 89, which is non-Olympic. So the next jump is actually 96.
Yeah. And then after that, it's free.
So I would be in the 96 and below category, but they will probably lift triple of my weight of what I can do. Yeah, like you can see CNJ like 100.
My CNJ is 115.
115, and what did
Shi Ziyong lifted
Shi Ziyong
190.
is 73 kg, right? His weight class.
Yeah.
And he lifted 198.
98. That was his work. He lifted the world record, 198 kilos. Imagine.
He's lighter than you, but he lifted.
Yeah, I know. And to put it into perspective, right? The other elite world, the second best in the world, the silver, could barely clean the first part of the lift, 190.
Yeah. Okay.
But he could barely stand it up. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously he didn't succeed in finishing the thing. He dropped it, was it?
He didn't finish. So so Shi Ziyong was forced to do because the weight keeps going up, right? So all the other lifters, in order to rest longer, you need to put a higher number so that the other lifters lift before you, so you have a longer period of rest. So he was forced to go to his world record because just in case the other competitors managed to lift a lighter weight, he needed to push it, make sure he lifted a heavier weight. But in the end, he still lifted like 20 kilos more than everybody in total, which is crazy. People usually win by like 2 kilos.
Yeah.
He won by 20.
20 is crazy at Olympics.
That's a lot. That's a huge margin, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like winning. It's like winning the fly at like 10 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, not 10 seconds, like 2 or 3 seconds
at
a 100-meter level.
Yeah. It's crazy lah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it's been fun. I can't like now it's the fun part to me because I love athletics. I don't know, like I like archery. I know I can't say that. I find it really boring. I can watch maybe like one heat of archery, but then after that, I'll be like, okay, they're all just shooting at the same target, and I don't even know how the scoring works. Like there are some sports where I watch it, and then Marian and I will look at each other like, who won? how do you score? Like I didn't know like diving. Like diving, I don't know how they score it. And you know, sometimes diving they have cancellations across the scores. So I always used to wonder, why is there cancellations? So Marian just told me that the reason why they have cancellations is because they eliminate the top two scores and the bottom two scores from the judges. This is to prevent like manipulation of the scores.
So
Because
take
if
the-
you've got
like
one
they take
very
the average,
biased judge,
Yeah.
is to eliminate so they only take the two middle scores. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I thought it was an average thing to eliminate that.
Yeah, it's not even average. It's a median.
median.
Median, right? Median, yeah. Yes, that's.
Yeah. Anything else on the Olympics you guys want to share?
When will esports come to the Olympics?
I mean, if golf is at the Olympics, in my mind, I feel like,
Oh,
Shit.
I feel like the physical exertion of golf is, it's not much more than I think
Yeah.
playing a very intensive game of Counter-Strike or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
But I mean, even if, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe 20 years
agree
from
with
now
you.
lah. Yeah, I mean even SEA Games they have esports ready, right?
Yeah.
So I
SEA
guess
oh, they do. I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah.
I think
Like
so.
the recent one they
Some-
had, I think it was 6 or 9 games. I think half of them were mobile games.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I can't imagine showing up playing. I mean, I have played mobile games as we talked about. I can't imagine,
Yeah.
training
Bring
for
a
your
phone.
well, yeah.
yeah,
The
but
first
I guess
phone, I
it's a
guess,
step in the
yeah.
right direction lah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think some of the esports stuff is really exhilarating. And I think it's as mentally strenuous.
Yeah.
In some
Like
ways.
Dota.
Yeah.
TI.
Yeah, but
man.
obviously the physical strain is not I mean, I guess the
It's different
repetitive
lah, it's
strain is
different.
worse. But
Yeah.
it's
As in, it
it's
will
not
never
as-
be as physically demanding as like
Yeah.
most traditional sports, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say the mental faculties and like the amount of coordination, like for example hand-eye coordination and the speed that you need to respond.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The
I agree.
reflexes.
Yeah. I've always
They
agreed.
can
with that,
rival some traditional sports for sure.
Mm.
Yeah. So I guess you'll see. This is
But I
this is
think
a topic that we can.
some people will say that it goes against the, like, if people have an idea of how the Olympics are supposed to be, like the kind of sports that should be involved in the Olympics, where physical exertion or physical activity is seen as the you're choosing the best of the best in terms of
Okay,
physical
so
activity. I understand.
regarding this, right? I actually have a counterpoint. So, I mean, things evolve as the years go on. Like, I think a lot of people don't know that in the past, like before Olympics is as it is now, there was a section in Olympics where it was dedicated to art. So
Oh.
like sculpture,
No, I didn't know that.
painting,
Really?
like yeah, it was actually a part of the Olympics, and you could actually win gold and all that. Yeah, so I mean, obviously
Oh.
things change, right? Because the Olympics have been around for like how many years already? Centuries, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Just that now we only see it as traditional sports.
Mm.
So I don't know, maybe 50 years from now, 20 years from now, it will be a different picture, lah. Right?
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't even think it'll take that long, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, skateboarding came out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you ask someone like 10 years ago whether they think street skateboarding would come out, they would say you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like 100 years ago, shooting pigeons was an Olympic sport. Like I heard it on the radio or something that they will release
Poor pigeons.
like 300 pigeons, and then the person who shoots the most pigeons will win or something like that.
Oh great.
Oh no, that would not fly in today's world.
And then eventually they stopped it lah, because it's they felt that
Unnecessary.
it was, yeah.
Violence.
cruelty, I guess.
Yeah. So
Well, the
things
thing
evolve
that
lah.
you know, the thing that they shoot out, that thing that you shoot,
Yeah,
it's called a clay pigeon.
yeah, it's called
Yeah.
a pigeon. So
Yeah,
yeah, in
this
the
is-
past it used to be real pigeons.
It used to be a real
Actually-
pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah. History lesson.
Oh, nice.
Okay lah. I think that's it for Olympics.
Yeah. Although I'm quite excited lah. There's still a lot of things to watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to some gaming news. Marv, you wanna go through some of them?
Yeah, so the biggest news that came out, I think on the day that we did the previous episode. So we weren't like in the know until the episode ended. Steam Deck. Steam Deck. Yeah, so if people don't know what the Steam Deck is, think of the Nintendo Switch, but instead of the Nintendo Switch, it's a handheld that plays what they say is all your Steam games, or almost all your Steam games.
Yeah. All games on your PC, lah, basically.
And it's competitively priced. Like the cheapest one is $400 US or something like that. Yeah, so it's
This is a
basically
bit more
it's a
expensive.
portable PC that you can carry around, and they have come out to say that anything a PC can do, you can do it on it. So it comes with the Steam OS,
Yep.
which is based on the
Linux.
OS is Linux, right? But they say you
Linux.
can actually like wipe it and then install Windows if you want, which sounds crazy to me, lah. John, what are your thoughts?
I think it's great. I mean, honestly, when I heard about that, I think the possibilities to use it for other things is, it exponentially increase. I think it's great. I think it's really cool. It might change the market for sure. Taking your PC games with you, for the gamers, and then for other people, you can use that as a computer. You can basically, use it as a separate screen or a separate, control surface or something. I'm just thinking as a musician perspective. So I think it's really cool.
But it's funny because to be honest, I was really excited about this because when I heard the specs, I was like, "Ooh, this is the Switch Pro, but better." And it's even better because people were talking about the comparisons between PSP or PS Vita and the 3DS, right? Because the Nintendo 3DS is the console that was before the Switch, and the PS Vita is the Sony's version, but the Vita basically lost. Yeah, but the Vita lost like by a lot. I think the 3DS outsold it like 10-1 or something like that. And people are comparing, the Steam Deck to this. But I'm thinking it's not the same, right? Because the Steam Deck allows you to play games that you already have. Yes. Right? You don't like the PS Vita, you have to buy like proprietary software. And they had this stupid thing with PS Vita. You had to buy their own proprietary SD card. Like you couldn't even use your regular SD card.
You couldn't use a general SD card. Oh, that's
you had to buy their SD card, which is so expensive. And I think Sony was trying to create their own ecosystem, but it was just not the right move at the right time. But I'm like, the Steam Deck, right now it seems way too good to be true. Like if you can use it for anything, like I'm just thinking for like emulation. Like if you want to play your Wii U games or whatever, like you can literally just put it on your. I mean, you could technically do it with your Nintendo Switch, but you need to brick your Nintendo Switch. Like you need to homebrew it. Basically. Yeah, you need to hack it. And even then, when you hack it, it's not like the Nintendo Switch is a very strong piece of equipment, right? But this has like a great APU, like a great CPU processing unit, and so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm super excited to see when it comes out.
I think it's not fair to compare it to like the Switch.
Yeah.
Because like the Steam Deck is a totally different ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Like people are saying,
but that's what people compare it to. What?
Like people are saying like it's a Switch killer. Then I'm like, no, it's not a Switch killer because you can't play certain games from the Switch on it. Hold on, I think you guys are frozen, or rather I am frozen.
It's different, right? Because like people
fixed it.
People buy the Nintendo Switch because of the games.
Yes, like I would buy. Like, okay, obviously I have a Switch, but I would buy a Switch to play Breath of the Wild, to play Pokemon, stuff like that. But then, of course, people will say that you can just download an emulator on the Steam Deck and then emulate a Switch. And, but we don't promote piracy here, so don't do that, guys. Buy original stuff.
Yeah, technically you could you could, but I'm just saying that like for the regular average Joe, like Sherilyn plays your Switch, right?
Yeah.
And then Liz played Breath of the Wild as well, right?
Yeah.
For a while.
She's been playing something, right? You were saying Liz has been playing something on the Switch.
There's a game. I actually found the game. It's called Sky Children of the Wind or something like that.
Oh,
Sky
that's a free to play, right?
Wind. Yes. Yeah.
What's that? Like an MMO?
I guess it's loosely an MMO. It's like an RPG with some MMO elements in it. It's curiously free to play. I don't think it was free to play on all platforms, but I think to make it for its launch on the Switch, they made it free to play, and then of course you can buy cosmetics and stuff like that. But it is a non-combat game, so that's very interesting. I don't know when's the last time you guys have played a non-combat game. So it's like an adventure puzzle game with flying, and
so
there's no combat.
Breath of the Wild with no fighting.
basically, I think. But with no fighting and with proper flying, because Breath of the Wild you can glide with your cape thing.
Yeah.
But this one there's proper like you can fly like with the cape in this game. You can actually like go up and down and up and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think the soundtrack is great actually. Very surprised also. But yeah, it's just one of those games we decided to try, and then I think she really likes it.
Yeah.
So
And
she
that's the
can
power
play
of
your
the Switch.
Switch, and then you can play the Steam Deck.
The Steam Deck.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get a Steam Deck, but
can you get one
I think
for
you
us?
shouldn't.
Because we can't order it.
Oh yeah, we can't buy it.
Yeah, we can't order it yet, but
Oh.
US can order. But I think
really?
it's fully
It's sold out already.
It's fully
Sold out.
pre-ordered now. Yeah.
Oh.
It sold out within like minutes. They crashed Steam servers. apparently.
Liz says it's Zelda, but just looking for Koroks. Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Find
Oh,
all
that's-
900 of them.
To me, that sounds
Yeah.
like the most boring part of the game. It's the part that I don't do in Zelda, in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay, I mean to
Yeah,
be fair, right?
yeah.
There are some Koroks that need you to have actual like thinking of how you're gonna
Yeah.
plan your route, and then there are like puzzles, right, to review them. So I guess if it's like that, it's fine. If it's just like going to lift up the rock all the time,
Yeah, those... No, the most annoying Koroks are the ones that you need to throw the stone into a ring of stones.
some ring, yeah.
Yeah. Like every time I see the ring of stones, I'm like, okay, I need to find a stone, throw it in. Like if they
This is
didn't,
not my
what did they need the Korok seeds for? To upgrade, right?
upgrade your stash. Increase your stash size. Yeah.
Like if they didn't make that a mechanic, right, I would not bother finding Korok seeds.
Yeah. Like I found enough to increase to max, and then I stopped. Because after that you can, I think there's like 800 or 900 of them. But there's no point, there's no like benefit of finding all of them besides the achievement, I think. Yeah.
Oh. This is like gonna leave the chat already. It's like you guys are blaspheming over my game.
Yeah. Anyway, the Steam Deck for me at the moment is like a 90% buy. Yes. But obviously because we're in Singapore, so we don't get first shot at it, right? It's also good because we can see like what are the reviews and really if it lives up to its name. Yeah. I've been following IGN because IGN has been doing a lot of exclusive interviews with like the team.
How much is it?
350.
350. Oh.
But no one's gonna buy the base version, I feel.
Yeah, no one's gonna buy
I
the
feel-
base version.
They should buy the upgraded, which just gives you more storage, right? Gives you like 1 terabyte? Is it 1 terabyte?
Okay, so apparently all of them have expandable storage. Like you can put an SD card. But the inbuilt storage cannot be upgraded lah. So I'm looking at it.
64?
399 for the cheapest one, which is 64.
Okay.
529 for 256, and $649 for 512 GB. So I assume that'll be like 1K lah. Yeah.
649 is insane.
But
you won't need
the thing is
512
that the middle and the top tier one have like a better SSD.
Yeah. It's faster lah.
Yeah,
It's
faster
an
SSD.
NVMe 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just get the middle tier one.
Yeah.
And then buy expandable storage, right? So that you can benefit from the faster SSD and don't have to pay like you're paying like extra 120 USD to double your storage, but you can just get an SD card lah. Right?
You put all the games that you actually play on your internal memory, because that will access it faster. Then the rest you put it into your external storage. Yeah.
I see. So you can plug stuff in like a computer. It's basically like a computer. You can plug an external hard drive or whatever. Okay, I see.
I think you can. You might need a dock. You might need a dock. Like a
But
dongle
they
to-
say that it works with all USB-C docks or something like that. So you don't actually have to buy the official one. Yeah, you can buy any hub and then it will work.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like,
That's the
compared to
good part.
Nintendo. Nintendo is like you have to wait for Kickstarter to make special docks because
Yeah. It's all like what do you call it? Proprietary stuff, or like someone has to figure out how to do all the stuff and then sell it.
Yeah, man. I mean, if it really does what they say it will do, I think it's gonna be huge. Like I would think most of our gamer friends would get it.
I think it's a niche market. I think gamers will buy it,
Yeah.
but not your casual. Like casual will buy their Switch. but nobody will like that. No casual person will walk into a store and go, "Oh, look, it's a Steam Deck. Let me buy it."
Yeah, unless they like you would buy it if you have a sizable Steam library that you want to play anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Actually, I disagree because I think like this is coming from a music perspective, and people that use touchscreen controllers a lot. If you think about the cost of an iPad, so a lot of people use iPads. It's kind of like the entry level touchscreen stuff. A Stream Deck isn't expensive. I guess the display isn't as big, but if you can use it like a computer, a proper computer, that means you can install a lot of apps that you can code and program. That makes it more flexible than an iPad. And I think it would have a secondary market as some kind of someone will just use it for that kind of stuff. So I use an iPad for my work and stuff, and that has a program on it that talks to my computer. And that program obviously works on regular OS and everything as well. So I think there's a secondary market potential for this thing. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty more than just that. But yeah, so you never know.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of gaming on other stuff that's related to non-gaming, have you heard of Netflix going into the gaming sector?
How does that work? I heard of it, but I don't know how it works.
Let me read out the announcement. So they actually sent out a letter to their investors. So they said that we are in the early stages of expanding into games, building on our earlier efforts around interactivity. For example, Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Do you guys watch that?
Yeah.
It was the Black
I
Mirror
know.
episode on Netflix where it was like a choose your own adventure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And our Stranger Things games. I didn't even realize they had Stranger Things games. Do they?
No, I think what they mean
I
is
didn't
that
know
they branched off. They create Netflix. Stranger Things is a Netflix proprietary IP,
Yeah.
right? So then they made a game.
Yep. So they say we view gaming as another new content category for us, similar to our
Another new
expansion into
money-making.
original films, animation, and unscripted TV. Games will be included in members' Netflix subscription at no additional cost.
That's
so
nice.
initially they'll be focused on mobile devices, games for mobile devices. That's about it lah. So I think it's very interesting that they are going into this field because, I mean, Netflix is like the leader in terms of streaming, right? They were the ones that really burst onto the scene. And okay, what comes to mind when you hear of streaming when it comes to gaming?
Stadia. We think of Google
Stadia.
Stadia.
And Stadia has screwed up, like bombed so much, right? Like who the hell plays on Stadia now? Correct.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess no one. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping in touch, but yeah, I remember I actually tried some. It might have been Stadia. I tried some kind of streaming service like that before, and it wasn't as bad as you think, but it cannot compare. I think to actually playing it yourself. Yeah.
So I'm like very interested to find out how are they going to pull this off, because if they're doing streaming for games, but they're going to focus on mobile games, then
just be an app, right?
It's going to be it's probably be like part of your Netflix app, then you play on your phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it's like, because there is like Google Stadia, they use a cloud service, right? So you basically, assuming you have a good enough internet connection, you're basically using their GPUs to power your game.
Yeah, you just need like good bandwidth.
So that's the thing. Internet is the most important part when you use cloud gaming. I wonder whether Netflix is the same thing, and I wonder whether they are starting mobile games just because it's less intensive. So kind of like Apple Arcade. That's what I think of. Like, Apple Arcade games, very, very easy to run, and they're going to start with that. So you can actually just click on the games tab in your Netflix, and then you can just play whatever games.
Do you have a subscription to Apple Arcade?
No.
Have you tried it before?
No.
John, have you tried?
No.
Are you on Apple?
No, I don't think so.
So I had a subscription because I was given 3 months free. And I'll say that I played maybe 3 games. One of them was actually recommended by Skill Up. I can't remember the name of the game now, but you slide around and then you shoot arrows at something. It's very like stylized.
I know.
I can't
it's
remember.
the guys that made the swimming game. Abzu, the guys who made Abzu.
Yeah.
I know
correct. But I can't remember the name of the game. So my experience with Apple Arcade is that I don't think there's any game on Apple Arcade that would keep me entertained for a long period of time. You get what I
see.
mean? Like I would
Yeah.
play it for fun for a while, and then I'll be like, okay, next. Yeah. So what I want to know is like, is this what Netflix wants to do? Like go into the mobile gaming, the world, have like a whole bunch of games, and then people like pick up a game and then put it down, or are they gonna do something like, okay, I'm not gonna say Blizzard, but something like FF. Like they want people to actually stay on it and play long term. Yeah, I think it's interesting lah that they're actually going into gaming. Yeah, I mean more people coming into gaming is good for us because more options for us, more competition. Yeah, I need to push the big boys. Yeah.
Sure.
I think like John said, right, if there's money, any company will flock to it. And I think they see like gaming is the new, because gaming has boomed because of the pandemic, right? People's like have nothing to do, so they games, right?
Yeah, it's definitely helped
And
them
so
a lot.
I think they start to see that they've done their research. They know there's money involved. And even though Apple Arcade doesn't appeal to most of us who are more hardcore gamers, because we buy games
Real
on Steam.
gamers.
Real. But I think there is a niche for people who use Apple Arcade and love the idea of being able to pay a monthly subscription and play any game they want on the arcade and play for 2 hours and don't feel buyer's remorse after that if they don't want to play anymore. Yeah, I think that's quite cool. And I think with internet getting better, it will be able to play more games.
Yeah lah, true lah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one on New World. Okay, I have no idea about this. John, do you know about this? New World?
I mean, I've done reading. I haven't played it. But it's Amazon's new MMO. And I've read initial reviews about it. I don't know if you guys, I guess Chew you haven't, but maybe Marv has. But the reviews are mixed, from what I can tell. Something
Paid and
along the lines
unpaid.
of, well, it's just a very, it looks beautiful, very polished looking game. But I think the lore and the backstory, I think they kind of rushed it out. I think it had some development was also interesting. I think it almost didn't make it,
Yep.
and then I think they decided to push it out the door anyways.
I mean it's Amazon
So-
lah, right?
I thought it was cancelled. I really thought it was cancelled.
So okay, I've been watching quite a bit of people playing it on stream. I think I was watching Shroud and Esmago, and I watched like people reviewing it online as well lah. And I agree with what Ian said. So I think you said to us in our chat one day, like, why would you play New World when you have, for example, WoW, FF14, SOTOR, Guild Wars 2, that kind of stuff? Why would you play New World? Yeah. So like for me, somebody who has played like quite a few MMOs, right? I feel that way. I don't feel a draw. I don't feel like I have to play this game. You get what I mean? But I don't know lah. Maybe because I haven't played it. But if I were to play it, like actually play it, then I may find that it's actually pretty interesting. Yeah.
The setting is like what? Like, I mean, a New World makes me think it's like very Christopher Columbus kind of.
Have you
fantasy
seen
setting.
any videos?
I've seen a few screenshots, I think, but like
So it's like there's like fantasy, and then there's like so like they use guns, but then you can
There's
also use
magic.
swords, and you can also use magic.
there's magic.
Yeah, so it's like a mix, right?
Okay.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
mix. It's a mix. Yeah, the aesthetic looks very uh, how you say,
Pirates
like
of the Caribbean.
a little. It's got a little bit of that vibe to it, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
The colors are quite bright, not WoW level bright, but also not like ESO or like
Yeah.
it's somewhere in between. It's like they try to be realistic, I guess. So it looks very modern. I think the nice thing about it is that it looks new.
Does it look better than FF14?
Yes. Yeah, I think
Oh,
it
it
does. I
does.
don't know what, but do you agree?
I actually don't like the art style.
The look.
Yeah. Like I find it. I was comparing it to Assassin's
Let me
Creed.
see.
Yeah.
Like Black Flag, is it?
Yes. Like okay,
Oh.
honestly, right? Maybe because I was watching a stream, but I felt like for 2021 game, right, it didn't feel like it came out in 2021. You get what I mean?
Okay.
Like the graphics and the assets to me don't feel like 2021. Yeah, but like I said, maybe because I was watching someone's stream and I wasn't playing it on like my actual computer, so I couldn't really like see how good the graphics were lah. Yeah,
The
so maybe
combat tap targeting, or is it action combat?
I think it's action.
I don't know.
I think it's
Don't know.
action.
It's like WoW, and so it's more like ESO than it is FF14 or WoW.
Yes, I think it's more like ESO if I'm not wrong. I mean I could be wrong lah, but I if I remember I think they were like aiming the actual rifle to shoot, the gun to shoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It looks pretty. Like I'm looking at screenshots. I mean, it looks, but it looks more like a very nice Skyrim.
Yeah, I think that would be quite a good comparison. It looks like a modern
Very nice
Skyrim.
ESO. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it does well. To be honest,
Same.
they take like what years to develop this game. I hope
Yeah.
it does well so that competition is good.
I agree
right?
with
And
you.
then
Yeah.
people play it.
If only for the sake of like having more competition in the MMO space, I hope it does
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
It's quite nice. Like looks good. But how much is the game? You have to pay
I don't
like
know.
what, $60 to buy it, and then you have to
Probably
pay
lah.
a month. Is it a monthly sub?
Let me find out.
Ooh, more games with monthly subs. If it's like free to play, I'll try it. Lah. No, I doubt it's free to play. I highly doubt. Not at this level. It's Amazon. Jeff Bezos needs his money. He doesn't have
No, he
enough.
doesn't.
He doesn't. How's he gonna build his rocket?
They should let you play this game for free with Amazon Prime. That's what they should do. Amazon Prime
Yeah.
should be like Netflix, right? It should just have games that you can play
Yeah.
with your subscription. I guess they will
Do
move
you-
to that eventually.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah, of course. You
Is it
can't,
like a
you know,
must-have in the US? Amazon Prime.
it helps a lot, I would say, because you can get like same day items. You can get a lot of same day or 2 day things, and it really helps sometimes. When you're in a pinch and you need something that
I
is-
toilet paper.
Oh, there is no subscription for New World. You just buy it.
Oh, so it's like Guild Wars
really?
in that sense. It's like Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
You buy once.
It's like
and
40.
Isn't
Oh.
Guild Wars 2 free to play completely now?
No, I think you pay for the base game is free to play, but you pay
Oh,
for
okay,
the expansions.
Yeah. So same lah.
Okay.
You pay $40 for the standard edition,
Okay.
and then or you can buy the deluxe edition, and then you don't have to pay a subscription. So
It's not too bad, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, it's better than. But then you see the thing, if you don't give subscription, right, then you need to give a lot of content, and you need to have microtransactions. So I presume this game has like some kind of like
Sell
cosmetic
skins and
microtransaction. Yeah.
like transmogs
Sure,
and stuff.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
It's how they earn money. Yeah. Okay. Oh well, I wish this game
Yep.
a lot of luck.
All the
I
best.
guess, but I don't have time for MMOs now. Man. It just takes MMOs just need a lot of time investment to play.
Yeah.
I don't know of any MMO that requires you to play just a little bit. Yeah.
You play as much as you want lah. You play as much
Yeah.
as you can and you stop. Yeah.
My next question for you guys is: what are you guys watching, or have you guys been watching anything? So this is strictly for like stuff you've been watching, not gaming. Like it can be movies, it can be Netflix, or YouTube. Is there anything you have been watching recently?
I recently subscribed to Prime Video, because I saw it's
Nice.
like $3 a month.
Mm.
Yeah. Then I was like, actually it's not that expensive lah. But when I subscribed, then Charlene was like, "You sure you have enough time to watch so many shows or not?"
Watch it.
Because now I've Netflix, then I have Disney Plus, then now I have Prime, right? Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean it's free lah. The first month is free, so I was like, sure, let's try. I've been watching The Purge. You know the movie Purge?
Yes.
So they actually have a TV series, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Ian, do you have Prime? You don't have.
No.
Okay, maybe we can share the.
I think I got it once to watch American Gods when it came out. But then after that I was like, I mean it's $3. That's right. It's cheap. But like if you're not going to use it, that's a coffee that you could spend every month.
Okay lah. I mean,
I think and Singapore doesn't require you to use Amazon Prime because I don't know about you, but how often do we buy stuff on Amazon? Except for my Kindle.
we don't lah. We hardly do. But anyway, yeah. So The Purge is the movie, right? So they actually came out with a TV series lah. And the next one I'm gonna watch after that is I'm gonna continue watching The Expanse. Have you watched The Expanse?
Oh, I haven't. I hear it's pretty good, isn't it?
John, you should
It's
watch
back
it.
on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. I've watched the first 3 seasons, so I haven't caught up.
On
There's a fourth and
Netflix, right?
fifth. Was it on Netflix?
It was on Netflix. It was
Yeah.
on Netflix 3 years ago. 2 years ago. Then I think
Yeah.
they got bought out. It went on Sci-Fi, which I think is owned by Amazon, and then it moved.
Yeah. So that's the next on my list lah. Yeah. I've also been watching this Korean drama on Netflix called Mine. Mine.
Mine?
Mine, like mine.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's your typical like Korean drama lah. But okay, what do
Okay.
I mean, right? It's about a family, a rich family, and
Sure.
apparently like the one of the son-in-law or the son no the son is from like the second wife, and then his own son is like from the ex-wife, like that kind of very complicated
Yeah.
stuff. But it's actually quite
That
interesting
sounds
lah. I
very
would say
complicated.
it is interesting. Yeah, I would prefer Korean dramas over like Taiwanese dramas or Hong Kong dramas. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you, John?
I was thinking about this as you were chatting. I think the most recent show of note was the Loki series.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about
Disney
that.
Plus.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Oh,
If you haven't watched Loki, please tune out now. Come back in like 5 minutes.
yeah. Yeah, I think that was the most recent show of note. I mean, I do watch quite a few things regularly, but yeah, Loki was great. I mean, we try to watch all the Marvel stuff when it comes out. So yeah, Loki was interesting. I think time travel is always difficult, a difficult concept to grasp in one's mind, but also to create a story about it. Yeah, it's challenging. I think it was okay in that aspect, but I think the rest of it was really fun. I enjoyed the twists and turns, and the finale was it kind of, I was like, where could this go that would really like they always save like a big review or something, right? And each of their franchises or sub franchises is different, and so I really quite enjoyed the finale. Yeah. And then you're like, oh no, the next it's gonna be worse now, and then of course it ends. But I don't know how much spoilers, how much what we're gonna say in detail. But
Marv already reviewed that it's a. I want before we go to the spoilers. Before we get to spoiler, can I just ask, because there are 3 Netflix, not Netflix, Disney Plus series, right, for Marvel, Loki, WandaVision.
Yeah, what's your ranking?
What's your ranking? What do you think is if you were to rank it in order, which is your favorite and least favorite?
Wait, hold on. Why is
me-
Liz saying that she's angry? She's like, Loki, no, angry.
Oh,
she's
I
angry with
think
the
it's a
ending?
least favorite. I guess it's a least favorite.
Is she angry with the ending?
I don't know actually. I don't remember.
Okay, now let's see what she says. But you rank
yeah,
yours
see what
first.
she
Yeah.
says. I think for me, I think Loki, Falcon, and then Wanda.
Hey.
Same.
Yeah.
But
actually,
you prefer Wanda, right? Ian, you prefer Wanda, right?
No, I think I.
As in,
actually,
you
my
prefer
favorite-
Wanda over Falcon?
No, Wanda
really?
is like my lowest ranking.
Yeah,
I
same,
say I have friends who think that Wanda is by far the best.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
for me, right, where obviously Wanda came out first, right? Then I watched Wanda.
Yeah.
So at the end of Wanda, I was like, oh my god, like Marvel TV series are freaking awesome. Like if this is the quality, I'll be damn happy.
Yes.
And then when Falcon came out, I was like, this is even better than WandaVision. It can't get any better, right? And then when Loki came out, I was like, they can't top this anymore. Loki's like the best.
I actually don't think Loki is my favorite. I actually think I prefer Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, really?
Because, I mean, to be honest, Falcon and Winter Soldier is super generic, but it's also like Marvel type of generic.
Yeah, it was Marvel generic. I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like if you like that kind of thing, it's like I don't expect greatness from a Marvel show. I just want to be entertained. I want to watch the big fight scenes. I want to be surprised when things happen, and I think Falcon and Winter Soldier did that adequately. I think in Loki, especially the first 3 episodes, it was a little bit slow.
Yes,
get
it was
going.
a bit slow. Yeah.
And it only hit like when they first introduced. Okay, spoiler for Loki. When they introduced female Loki, or what?
Yeah.
Sylvie, is that her name? Sylvie.
Yeah, Sylvie.
Sylvie.
Sylvie, right? Only when they introduced Sylvie did it get a little bit more interesting. right?
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to introduce that whole dynamic between the two of them, which is interesting but also really weird. Is it like dating yourself? But then, okay, so
But that's
this goes
Loki,
back
right?
into
He's narcissistic, right? It's like the
Yeah. It's
personification
his
of what
narcissism
Loki is.
expressing itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like perfect
so can I
Loki.
ask you guys a question, like honest question? Because the final one of the final scenes before she kicks him out and puts him back into the TVA, right? And she
Yeah.
kills
Yeah.
Kang. She
Yeah.
says, "I'm not you," right, or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So does she mean that she's not actually Loki, or does she mean like she's not?
No lah, I think she is Loki. She's just saying that
I'm not like you.
She's
like
a
her,
different.
yeah, my views are
Yeah.
different from you.
Oh,
Because that's Kang, right? It can't be her. Kang the Conqueror is Kang the Conqueror, right? But that's going into
mean-
like deeper Marvel lore, which I think most people will not know that he's Kang.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't actually say he's Kang. He just says I'm a conqueror.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, but if
Only-
you know, like
yeah,
you know
only
Marvel
people-
lore, you will know lah. Yeah. Anyway, Liz, she says that she's
Yeah.
angry because of time travel logic and continuity of the Marvel time travel logic. It's like X-Men where they played with time travel and nothing matters anymore. The main plot line is moot now. So okay. John doesn't care. Stop talking to him. It's okay, John. We care about your opinion, but we also care about Liz's opinion. Okay, I would say, okay, for people who know me, right? I think like those of you who have known me for a while, you know that I hate time travel stuff in anything because it's almost never done well.
Yeah.
And it always screws stuff up, which I totally agree with this. So after Loki happened, right? Then Shirley and I were like talking about it. Then I was like, you know what? This totally just invalidated 10 years of the Infinity War experience.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
supposed to be like, you know, the culmination of like three phases, right? 3 phases of Marvel movies.
3 phases. Yeah.
And then now, right, the Infinity Stones are freaking paperweights.
Yeah. You're just one part of the
Yeah.
branch. You're just timeline. One
Yeah.
branch.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I kind of felt a bit like Game of Thrones. Like if you all watch Game of Thrones, I think Chewie didn't watch Game of Thrones, right?
Let me go get Liz. Let me go get Liz. Chris says it's time to swap guests. I'm not.
Yeah.
She wants to burst in here and give her opinions. She cannot. She cannot think.
Yeah, so to me, I felt a bit like Game of
Really?
Thrones. Like I invested so much, and then now you're telling me that whatever we just watched for 10 years and like how many movies? 26 movies, something like that.
Yeah, 20. It's in the upper 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now, you know. So I get that feel. I understand where she's coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they have to keep raising the stakes, right? Like they made Thanos. Of course, immediately when you watch it, you're like, oh, this is the biggest threat Marvel has ever seen, right? Then when they go to the next one, it's the typical anime.
They have to keep power creep.
issue.
Yeah, they have to keep increasing the threat.
It's like
level.
like if you start with Thanos, who's supposedly like he's
big
the
bad.
Titan, he's a Titan, he's a big guy. Then your next bad guy has to be even more scary.
Bigger
But if
threat
you
than
start off
Titan.
with the biggest Titan, then you're kind of like stuck a little bit, right? So they have
Yeah.
to dumb it down a little bit, which I feel kind of invalidates it, lah, like you said. And okay, let me ask you a question. Did you guys watch Tenet?
Yes.
So let me ask you, at least you can answer this too. Who do you think did time travel better, Tenet or Loki?
Oh my god.
Okay, I watched Tenet. I watched Tenet
Moment.
twice. Okay, I watched Tenet twice. The first time, obviously, it was alone because I heard so much about it, right? And I watched it at home with subtitles because people like you, like Ian, and other people have told me that watching it in the movies is a waste of money because you can't hear what's happening, right? Yeah, anyway, so that's beside the point. So I watched it second time because I wanted Charlene to watch it also. And I felt like watching it second time was kind of like, have you watched Shutter Island?
No.
Oh, John hasn't watched Shutter. Okay, I won't spoil it for you, but when you watch it the second time, it's like watching a totally different movie. Because you know what happens in the first, what happens in the original movie. Yeah. So Liz says, I have a lot of feelings about Tenet too. I wanted to die. Yes. I would say that I think Tenet does time travel better, but more confusing. Because the concept of time travel in Tenet is very different from your traditional time travel movies. Right? Because it does they use the backward thing instead of just jumping from portal to portal. Yeah. What about the two of you? What do you all think?
I think when you talk about any Nolan movie, right? I think his strength as a director is that he always starts off with a concept. Like he like with Inception, for example, or Interstellar, he has this concept of, for Interstellar it was gravity and time, and for Inception it's the idea of a dream. So he always starts off with this idea, and he has a remarkable skill at crafting a somewhat cohesive story that makes it interesting. So Inception is my favorite movie that he has made because it has a great idea coupled with a great story with really good characters that make you remember them, like Molly and obviously Decap in that show. But I think with Tenet, I think he has a great idea, but the story and the characters were not as captivating. Which like I don't think the main character was that interesting. What's his name? David George Washington. Something like that. Can't remember.
Yeah,
Something.
Denzel Washington's son, by the way.
Yeah, like I think he's a great
And
actor.
Edward Cullen.
Yeah, Edward. To be honest, Edward Cullen was
Robert Pattinson, yeah.
Robert. Let's call it by his real name, Robert Pattinson.
Batman.
More interesting in that show.
I agree.
because he has-
I
he has
liked
a
him
character.
better. Yes, I liked him better.
But the main character doesn't have a personality. He's just a blank slate. He's like your protagonist in your MMO.
Did you
in
feel?
your RPG.
Do you
Doesn't
feel
have
anything for the lady? I can't remember her name. The wife. Did you feel anything for her?
Oh, you mean the Russian wife?
Yeah. Is it Russian?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
yeah, the of the Russian oligarch, right? The bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
so
for her
Played
more
by
than I felt for the
Elizabeth
bad guy.
Debicki.
I actually agree with you to some extent because, like, I'm gonna say that my favorite Nolan movie is not Batman. It's Interstellar, which my cousin Ian will have a lot of things to say about because he thinks that Interstellar is a shit movie, right? But yeah, Interstellar is my favorite movie because I think that, there was time travel, right? I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, there was time travel too. But I think they did time travel very well in that movie because it wasn't a major thing, right?
It
It
was a
wasn't
side thing,
wasn't the whole like it didn't revolve around time travel. Yeah. But it was just inserted in to explain something that happened in the movie, and I thought it was done very well because they use 5D lah, right? Basically they use 5D or 6D or something like that. Like an extra dimension that it's impossible for us to experience or to explain. So he used it as a way to, I mean, some people say it's a cop out lah, which I think my cousin will say that. But I felt that it was a valid way to use time travel and not like make something very complicated. And in that sense, right, I actually felt a lot for the characters. Like, what was his name?
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey, like crying on his that there's a meme of him like watching the video and crying, right? Like, I mean, obviously now it's a meme, but when I watched it first time, I really felt for him. Like, I felt for his kid. Yeah. Whereas for Tenet, I'm like, I didn't really feel anything for any of them, I would say.
Yeah, that's why I said bad characters, lah. Bad characters,
Yeah.
but great idea.
Yeah.
I think Nolan has a great idea. He's a great director in explaining very difficult concepts. But that can be his downfall at times because that's his focus. He wants to explain to you what time travel is in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have been watching. I've been rewatching the Marvel movies because I was trying to rewatch like Phase 1 to Phase 3, like just rewatch it because I kind of want to remember.
That's what I was
it.
doing also.
And I realized there are a lot of bad Marvel movies that I thought was good, but now rewatching them, I'm like, wow, this is so bad. Okay, so to put it in context, right? I didn't think Thor was a bad movie. The Thor movies were bad.
The first one?
But rewatching them, Thor the first one and Dark World. Is that what it's called? Dark World?
Thor number 2 is like my lowest ranked.
Yeah. So watching the two, like literally when I get to the Thor movies, right, I dread the Thor movies. I know love it. Is it no? What's it?
No, Ragnarok.
Right?
Ragnarok
Ragnarok's
so
really good because
Yeah.
it's like Guardians of the Galaxy, right? It's basically Guardians of the Galaxy in a Thor story.
Okay.
But there are some movies where I'm like I realized that my favorite movies in the Marvel that I can watch over and over again are like the Captain America movies are really good. All the Cap movies are good.
Yes, I agree.
The Thor ones are generally very bad. Guardians is good, but then there are a lot of like very meh movies in it. Even Ultron. And okay, I know this is gonna like be controversial, but I even think the first Avengers is very
What was
minus
the
the
first
last
Avengers,
the where
Oh,
it was
yeah,
Loki,
the
Loki
Chitauri,
and
right?
the
Ishitari,
Chitauri.
yeah.
Yeah, minus the last fight scene, right? The last fight scene is the one that everybody loves.
I will
But
agree
everything,
that Avengers 1 and Avengers 2 were more hyped up than they are. Like, they were great
Okay.
watching it, but rewatching them, I don't think they were good. And I also agree with you, like, Captain America. My favorite is Winter Soldier. Like, I think most people
Winter Soldier.
love Winter
That's right.
Soldier, right? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like it's timeless. Like, even when I watch it now, because I've watched it a few times, and I was recently, like, I was doing the same thing as you. I was watching with Sherilyn, like, from chronologically. So I was like watching from, I think, Captain
Iron Man
Marvel
1.
onwards.
Oh,
No, as in,
okay.
as in
Yeah.
MCU chronologically.
So you start with Captain America 1 lah, basically.
Yes, correct. First Avenger, then I think Captain Marvel, then
Yeah.
yeah. So like Iron Man was good. Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 was shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first Iron Man still being very good. I haven't rewatched them though, so that's why I'm keeping quiet because I haven't had the chance or the patience to watch all of them again. But
No, but I think you will
maybe-
come with the same conclusion that
Yep.
it will, because there are some movies which seem good to you back then, but the ones that were great previously, you will remember them as really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you have
like,
time,
Marvel's
sit down
Guardians
with
is so
Liz. Sit down with Liz and then watch it chronologically.
Oh yeah, we have access to all. We have HBO Max, so we can watch all of them.
Is it? Oh, it's on
anytime,
HBO
so,
Max.
yeah.
I thought it would be like on Disney Plus.
Oh, sorry. I think Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I've been watching The Bad Batch also. I don't know if you guys have watched it.
Oh, I haven't started it.
So I think it's good, but not as good as, I know it's unfair, but
As
nowhere
Clone Wars?
near
Clone Wars?
as The Mandalorian.
Oh,
I know it's unfair
I
to
mean,
compare it
yeah,
to.
it's not.
But like just in terms of the story, like just in terms of like with the Mandalorian, right? Every episode I was like, oh, what are they gonna do next? Who are they gonna introduce? Like the first episode of season 2 when they introduced the Great Dragon, I was like, dude, there's no way you're gonna top this, right? Then episode 4, they introduced Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, you guys are killing it, right? And so every episode is something different. Well, this one just feels very.
Yeah lah. But like you said, like it's not a fair comparison. It's like apples to oranges lah, right? I mean, they're both fruit. They're both Star Wars, but you can't compare animated to live action. I say you have
Okay,
to
if you
compare
compare to the Clone Wars.
compare
the
to like Clone Wars final season,
no,
something like
it's
that.
not- nowhere
I
close.
didn't watch.
Yeah, or compare it to like Rebels or something.
Rebels.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
still trying to
because
make my way through Rebels. So
there's not enough lightsabers. That's why.
Star Wars is
Yeah,
not
so
just
it's-
about
it's like-
lightsabers.
It's like that phone game that I used to play. So they started out the game with you being like a scrapper bounty hunter, and then they realized that to really get the cash flowing,
Ah,
you
You
have
needed
to become
lightsabers?
a Jedi. They
Yeah.
have to give you a lightsaber quest, and that's what they did. They had to just go with it. It's
no, they
it's
have
the
to. That's the
lightsaber, man.
whole aesthetic. It's like Star Wars Galaxy is the old MMO before SOTOR, right? I think last time you couldn't be a Jedi. You had to like, so when they introduced the Jedi class, like you had to. I think it was very old school. Like you needed to like do like you couldn't basically be a Jedi from the start. You have
You
to
have to
like,
grind
build
through
up.
like some crazy
You have to
quest line,
grind
right?
through to be. Now, obviously, if you do that, no one's gonna play, right? No one wants to go
Right.
through like level 50 levels to be a Jedi, right?
Sure.
So, yeah. But
It's like
that's
Death
not
Knight lah last time in WoW. You need to level until level 55 before you can like start
Oh,
Death
yeah.
Knight.
Chris will correct me, but I think the stuff to get to Jedi in Star Wars Galaxies was way worse. Like
Probably.
only, I would say like top, like 10% of the player base were actually Jedi. So when you actually see a Jedi with like, which is kind of cool, right? You actually see a lightsaber, you're like, oh, dude,
Right, the person
this
put in
guy's
the
a
time,
real
earned it.
ass,
He's a real gamer.
the real kid.
He has a gaming chair.
Look at that RGB on his lightsaber.
Look at the RGB on his microphone. Oh my gosh, that guy's he's the true gamer over there.
Chris said he never played that game.
Oh, I thought he did. Okay. Anyway, going to the stuff that I really want to talk about. So I am a musician as well. Of course, not on the same level or caliber as Jon.
You're like
no,
a normal raider. He's like a mythic raider.
yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
sure.
Also, because he does it professionally, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's his job. But I mean, not just based on skill, but also based on passion and his talent. But I want to maybe Jon, you can share a little bit about what you actually do for like a living.
How you pay your bills.
Yeah, sure. I I play WoW. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Liz,
I
you
haven't
hear
earned
that?
any money. I haven't earned any money playing WoW. No, so I do music composition specifically, and I work for Hans Zimmer's company out here. I don't work directly for him, just to clarify, because that can mislead people sometimes. But I work as an in-house composer, basically, working on many different projects. And yeah, a typical day involves sitting at a computer the whole day. It's actually this workstation right here with a keyboard usually. So, like Chu, I play guitar, but I've migrated over to the keyboard because that's practical for work purposes. So for everyone that does composition, you end up basically on the piano on a keyboard, because that's the best way to compose. Um, yeah, and so a typical day usually involves writing a lot of music at a very fast pace, for different projects, different styles. It's very, how do you say, it's very technical at the same time as being very musical. So I enjoy that about the job, that there's a lot of um, music technology, musical knowledge, and creativity. But at the same time, it's all very focused. So they'll be like, we need, this amount of music in this style, and you have to be able to crank that out quickly. So it has to be like a muscle memory type of thing. So that's the professional side of it. You don't just have your own sweet time to, sit there and come up with something amazing. You have to do it like quickly. And yeah, and that's basically a day. It passes by very quickly, very intense, long days. But yeah.
So okay, this totally blows my mind. So like for example, you get a project that says, yeah, I want 5 tracks, Asian influence. Think of like maybe they'll say like, oh, think of like very Japanese style, and then they'll tell you like, okay, I want each track to be like 3 minutes long, and I'll have it. Is that how it works? And they'll tell you like, oh, it must be. I want this kind of feeling, or is it is it more restrictive, or is it very like it's up to you? And then after that, you send it to your lead, I guess whoever's in charge, and they will discuss with you. Okay, you need to change this, change this, change this. Is that how it works?
Loosely, yes. So in some ways, it resembles a typical like creative agency project team, I guess, where there's a project lead, and then you're in contact with the client, and then you manage the client type of thing. Yeah, and then you go through revisions, and usually, yeah, someone gives the direction, and then you get feedback. So yeah, in some ways it's exactly like you said, but it depends on the project. Some projects give you more flexibility, some projects give you less flexibility, and then the deadlines also change. So some projects also are very demanding with the deadlines, and others have a longer deadline. Yeah, and then in terms of style, it will be exactly like that. They'll give you a brief. Sometimes they give you references, and then it's your job and your skill to take the essence of each reference
Yeah.
and kind of come up with your own thing. Um, Also, because I work as part of a team, you have to be able to mesh with your team members musically and also obviously socially and all that kind of stuff too. So you have to put out a product that is, of the same very high quality for the client lah, basically. Yeah.
So when you say work with a team, do you do one track by yourself, or is it more like, okay, I'll do the strings and guitar for this part, you do the piano for that part? Is
Good
that
question. No, you do the whole track by yourself. So
oh
you are
wow.
expected to master not just what instruments do and how they work. You're expected to master the composition, and you're also expected to master how to mix and produce your own track. So there's a lot of skills that you have to learn. You can't just play one instrument anymore. You have to be a producer. You take a producer hat and put it on and be like, okay, what is the best thing for this scene, given the tools that we have, given the sound, given the project, and then you have to channel your creativity through this funnel. It
Yeah.
kind of feels like that sometimes, and then put out the best that you can do within those sandbox. So each project has this like sandbox of toys that you can use,
Yeah.
that are decided upon, and then you have to do all those things. Sometimes you hire musicians, sometimes you don't. You have access to a lot of expensive sample instruments, um, and then yeah, you're expected to mix the track and produce the track and make it sound, you know, great. even without like sending it to a mix engineer. You're expected to know how to do all those things also. Yeah.
So were these skills stuff that you had to learn, or do you think you were already at that level, and then, or people who, let's say, wannabe, not say wannabe, like aspiring person comes in, do they need to have all the skills already, or do they learn, like, just have to learn really quickly?
I think everyone brings something different to the table. And depending on the team you're on and everything, it varies. It varies. But I would say
if you're an
had,
aspiring,
yeah.
you probably start at a lower level, and then like you will not be given a huge portion of the project, right?
Correct.
You'll be asked to do like very simple stuff, right? At the beginning.
Yeah. So yes, that's exactly it. And so it's very coveted in the sense that, you know, to even get the opportunity to start at the beginning is already a big thing. And then to get to be in charge and to be able to do creative stuff is an even bigger thing at that level. So yeah, I guess to answer your question directly though, I didn't have everything in place, but I think I had enough, or I brought enough of, you know, of my skills such that, you know, I could be taken in and taken up to the next level. I suppose. It's definitely not for a beginner. It's definitely not
But
for
you've been
intermediate
doing
type of
this
person. Like, you have to be able to, yeah.
You've been
You
doing
have to
this
be able
for
to-
quite a while, right?
I've been doing it for quite a while. You know, admittedly, I think it could have gone faster overall, but I think all these things take time anyway for you to mature and to understand all the different stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. So I think Marv, I don't know if it's obvious, but you know, I'm basically doing like 3 or 4 people's jobs, or what in some parts of the industry would be 4 people's jobs.
Let me give my layman experience. So I visited John back in 2017.
But he wasn't with this company yet, right?
No, he was with
wasn't
another
with this
company.
company,
And 2017, and okay, I won't review what you're working on later. You gonna
Yeah.
So he was. I went over to his place because I lived. I got an Airbnb nearby lah. It's like walking distance, right? I remember, like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I got to see him working on a project that came out on Netflix lah. So it was a series, right?
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, from my perspective as a layman who has no idea what this is about. I mean, I don't even. Okay, I play the guitar, but that's as much as I do. I haven't played the guitar in a long time.
Me too.
Yeah. So what I was seeing was, imagine like, it's almost as somebody who doesn't trade, and then you see a trader at work, right? You see like weird screens. You see his screens and then you see weird programs. Then there's like lines everywhere. There's green lines and red lines or whatever.
Correct.
And then there's a huge TV on top with the scene that you were composing the music for, right?
Correct.
And then you had to like play it over and over again to make sure that what you were doing was fitting into the scene or something like that.
Correct.
Yeah. So to an untrained eye, it's like it's magic, because you literally had to write music from your head. Correct. I mean, of course, you're given references, but what's amazing to somebody who doesn't do music or has like very little knowledge about music is that you are creating music from your head, like straight out from your mind. And to me, that's crazy. That's amazing. I can't even fathom like how is that even possible.
It's awesome, but it's, you know, what can I say? I guess thinking about it from the way you describe it, it does seem a little like magical or something. You know, I guess it's the same for me when I look at other people creating stuff as well. It's a very is the word nebulous for it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you can pin down to like a spreadsheet or something anymore. You know, it's like it comes from the creative place, but it also as a commercial, you somehow have to channel all of that, you know, into something that you can show someone and be like, okay, this is what you wanted.
You can't teach somebody to be creative. It has to come from them. But you can teach somebody how to write music in terms of like you can teach them the notes, but when you write the music on your own, nobody is like teaching you what to do.
The decisions
so I think that was
yours,
pretty amazing.
Can I pick about that? So for me, I've done recording before, but a lot of my recording is done based on existing music. Like I record stuff that has already been I like covers, right? That's been written before, and of course you can reimagine it, but it's not. I mean, okay, reimagining is similar, but in a sense, because I think when you write something, even if you're writing something that's an original composition, it's not done out of a vacuum, right? You're always drawing from influences, right? You're thinking, oh, this music sounds like I can take it from this, and then that's what. I mean, I don't remember the quote, but everybody says that everybody steals from everybody. It's just that how you put it all together is important.
Yeah.
I
It's
want to ask,
yeah.
how do you start when you start your layering, right? When you start let's say you start your DAW, do you use what? Do you use Pro Tools, Ableton?
No, Cubase.
Okay, so you start with you start new project, right? And then you start. What do you usually start with? Do you start with the melody? Is that what you think of first, or do you start with? I mean, I know it changes per project, but is it like, oh, let's lay down the beat first? How do you usually start your whole writing process?
Yeah, I think it's usually melody. For me, I usually come back to melody most of the time, and these days I usually sketch it out on a piano. So even though my piano playing isn't great, it's good enough to get my basic idea down, and then I kind of take it from there to other things. I don't usually record guitar or anything till much later in the process, because guitar is a live instrument, whereas the piano is MIDI, is a virtual instrument for the uninitiated. And so you can make all kinds of modifications to it. You don't have to commit to it, whereas the guitar, you have to actually play in the actual thing, each pass and everything. And if you're not happy with the idea, you have to do it again. Yeah. So it's not very efficient time-wise, but the more efficient way is to sketch it on a virtual instrument that you can just, you can tweak and everything. And then you just kind of go from there. It really depends on the project, what direction you hit. Some projects are more orchestral, so then you hit into those kinds of sounds. Some projects are more, electronic, so then you go more synth type of stuff. And then others are more acoustic, instruments and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you get flashes of inspiration like the next day or like at night when you wake up? You're like, oh, or like you go to like, I don't know, you go now, you can't go out. Maybe you can go out where you are, but like you go out, you listen to a tune or you watch something and you're like reminded of this, and you go, oh, I can add this into to this particular project. Do you ever have that?
Yes, always. The voice memo in my phone is a very important depository of random ideas. So I'll just sing, hum ideas in, or like pick up a guitar and be like, oh, quick, I have to take it down. And sometimes it really helps to do that, because it would solve a problem that I had. So sometimes I get stuck with composition or something, and sometimes your mind is just too busy, or you're too stressed about something. So sometimes when you go away from that, you go do something else, and then inspiration will strike. And so you have to capture that lightning in the bottle, right? So then you take out the voice recorder and then you hum it in, and then later you translate it back into something. So yes, all the time, man.
And in terms of structure, like you do your A/B sections, right? Do you usually is it given to you in the brief, or okay, I guess it goes back to the whole thing where sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. Compositions don't tend to follow A B. So Marv, sorry if it is boring, but the A B structure is kind of a song, like a pop song type of reference, where the verse is A, the chorus is B sometimes. In compositions, it's kind of out of the window. It really varies, especially when you're doing it to film. There isn't really an A or B section. It's not very clear as to what those are. So yeah, it really, for us, it's just what the picture needs, what the scene needs at the time, and then you'll just do it.
So
sometimes it only requires one section. Yeah.
Do they give you the video to watch?
Yeah, of course you have to be able to watch the video to do any kind of meaningful work. So yeah, you have to do.
That's so cool. So you actually watch.
So when I was there at his place, you could actually watch the thing before it came out on Netflix, but without any music, right? Without any sound effects.
Yeah.
So depending on what he's working on, he will probably know about stuff that's going to happen. And if let's say he's working on something big, let's say if he was working on like Game of Thrones, then obviously he will know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But so I guess sometimes it takes away the fun. If let's say you were following that
it does take away the fun. If you care about the franchise, if you happen to be working on a franchise that you care about, I would say it's more fun to watch it at the end when it's all done, because you watch it without VFX.
Can you review if you are working on a game or a show now? We won't ask you why is it but like
I would say
genre?
it's a mix. It's a mix of all kinds of things. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not working like one project. Like you probably have like a few things that are ongoing now.
Yeah, there are quite a few things going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you do mostly movie, TV show production? Is that usually what the clients that come to your studio?
It's a mix, man. It's it's a big studio, so they get all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
because
Like literally anything you can think of. Yeah.
I remember remote control productions. They do like quite a few video game stuff as well, right?
Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are they usually for games that don't have an in-studio music team? Or they just want external references, external sounds?
I think it varies. I mean, I think when I think of video games, I think of like Blizzard's music team. They've always been kind of a mix, internal, external type of thing. So I think it varies. Like they do have an in-house team, but they always have outsourced stuff. I think other games also do that as well. But I think it depends. Yeah. So anyway, back to the original question. It's sometimes the occupational hazard of working in this field is that if you happen to be working on something you care about, you have to painfully watch it go through all of the developmental stages, and by the end of it, you might not even want to ever see it again because you're so
Sick of it.
Yeah, you're so sick of it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just watching it the same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah.
And and then watching it, imagine like, so Game of Thrones obviously has been out for so long now, but can you imagine like some of the scenes with the dragons and stuff were not even dragons, you know what I mean? Like, so can you imagine watching and trying to imagine that kind of stuff without the VFX in there? That's what we have to do basically. The VFX only gets added much
Later.
I think sometimes you get a bit of it, but most of the time it's later towards the very end that you actually get to see some stuff that's cool, and you're like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah.
Oh.
So sometimes it's better to just be the consumer,
Yeah. So do you, like, now when you listen to either any kind of music, right? Usually from games or movies or TV series, do you pay more attention to different parts of the because okay, to be honest, right, from a composer, even from a musician point of view, when I enjoy a score, I enjoy the entirety of the score, right? There'll be times where I'm like, oh, this part is really rocking, but I'm not like looking to, oh, what's this synth doing at this point? What's this electric guitar wrecking out at this point? Do you pay more attention now?
Occupational hazard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yes, I definitely pay more attention. I think I pay a lot of attention to the Loki score. Actually, I thought it was really good. But I think that brings brings up the question of what is music for in this situation, and sometimes it's better if it doesn't pull you away and make you notice it. I think sometimes we've done our job well if you don't really notice it, at least on the first watch, because that means it was conveying what it was supposed to do.
I guess it's quite sad in maybe a way that you have done your job well if it doesn't pull people away from the actual scene. Right?
Yeah. There are definitely scenes where I've watched where it goes both ways, and then and so what I think is a nice balance is if you can leave a little lingering. Usually the melody will stay with you, but if you don't notice the music for the rest of the thing, but just the melody, I think that's a good balance. You know what I mean? Because the melody stays with you as a memory of the movie or the character or something. When you think of Harry Potter, for example,
immediately I think of
yeah. But I don't think that the music took away from the movies, you know what I mean, in general.
Yeah.
So but the melody is an invitation for you to check out the soundtrack later. Perhaps you're like, oh, I want to live in that world, but I don't want to watch the movie again for now. So how else can I do that? I listen to the soundtrack, and you're like, oh yeah, this is when this and this happened, and so I think to some extent it should be less distracting. But unfortunately for me, if it's not if it doesn't do its job well, I get a little annoyed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's occupational hazard, right?
Yeah.
It's like how, because like my wife, she's an occupational therapist, right? So one of her job is to train elderly how to use the electronic wheelchair and scooters. So it's actually part of her job. So when let's say we're outside, let's say we're in a shopping mall, and then she sees someone using it, right, and not using it in the correct way, then she'll be like, I wish I could go over and tell the person how to use it.
Oh, right. Yeah, but she cannot. I mean, she could, but
yeah, I mean, she could, but
she could.
after you watched after you watched the Loki series, did you like go look up the composer and like this guy's this dude's
Yeah, all the time. In fact, I'm always very curious as to who did the music for this and that for various reasons. And yeah, you know, it's interesting.
Is
And
it a large
what?
is it a large community?
Comparatively, if you think about it, versus like singer songwriter type of things, no, it's very small. And I think a lot of once you get to like the high levels, it's a quite a small field of people that get a lot of the projects. So you would recognize a lot of the names. So I think what's interesting is when you see a name that you don't recognize, you're like, oh, who is that? What is their story? That kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's quite small.
That's what people are doing to you now. Ooh, who's this Jon Ong guy? Gotta check him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
John,
Check him
would
out.
you say? I mean, maybe final question, but would you say that you are where you want to be at the moment in your industry?
I think yes. I think it's been a great honor to get this gig and to work here. I guess ultimately it would be nice to go off on my own and do my own things. But when it comes, it will come. I guess. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got so many questions, but in the interest of time, let's move on to a part which I also really
we
want.
can have him back next time, and then we just do a whole episode of
Part
just
two.
music.
Yeah. My gosh, there's so many things I want to ask. Okay, but anyway,
just be Chu and me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just do the logistics, and then I'll mute myself.
we want to ask. So before we started, we actually asked John for his top 5. Okay, so we are all fans of games, but we also like the music of games is what really sticks out with us. And I know for John, he even did covers of soundtracks from WoW, which he really
Yes,
loves.
I've done. Yeah. I've
So
done
go to
many.
YouTube and search music and gaming. That's one of his channels. Or you can
Right.
search Jon Ong.
Yeah. Yes.
So I wanted
Right,
to
fair enough.
know. So we asked John what was his top 5 music soundtracks from the games that he's played, and so I wanted. So obviously we can't let you listen to it on now because it's
on Twitch. Or not, we'll get copyright strikes. So
okay, copyright strikes. What we're gonna do is we'll actually send you we'll actually put some of the links. So John, when you send it to us, he also added some of the links, the YouTube links. So I also want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So John, do you want to start with? Should we do like each of us give our 5? Like each of us done like we give my number 5, your number 5, Marv's number 5. Then we go through that. See whether we have
Sure.
any.
Whatever works.
sure.
Yeah.
You can guess. You can guess mine also. If you all can guess mine, then I'll buy you. I'll buy you my crispy. You can get 3 out of 5.
Very crispy.
John, I'll send it over to you.
No, you can buy me an In-N-Out burger. Thank you.
Yeah, when I can come lah. I would love to go back to the US, but not now, I guess.
Yeah.
Chris is like LOL again.
I still haven't given him.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll put a score on John and Chu, so that
Yeah. We okay. So John already kind of said it to us. So
Yeah, I shouldn't have, but I did. Yeah.
No, it's
no.
fine.
I said both of you will guess mine. How about that?
Oh, okay. That's good. Let's do that. That's
Okay,
that's fair.
so I'll be upfront and honest, because I'm not a very big music person. So my choices are all very normie. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? Like I'm a normie when it comes to this kind of stuff. So okay, why don't John go first? Chu, then you try and guess mine.
Honestly, this is going to be very hard.
Right?
As in,
Yeah.
why don't you give your fifth? You give your fifth first. John's fifth.
Oh, my 5th.
John
John's
then
okay.
John then Ian. Yeah.
Okay, my 5th is from a game called Elder Scrolls Online. It's called For Blood, For Glory, For Honor by a composer called Jeremy Soule. I think it's just a great epic opening soundtrack. Very, very memorable melody. So I love that. So I'm supposed to guess Marv's 5th?
Okay, why don't Ian you give your fifth first?
Okay, so my 5th is, let me look for it. Okay, my 5th is the Halo theme song. I don't know if you guys know it, but let me
know about that one. Interesting.
It starts with, no. What? Okay, the thing about Halo is that once you hear the first, you just take the first 5 seconds of it, right? And it's this eerie choir. It's a choir. It's a choral piece. The first 10 seconds. the moment you hear it, right? At least for me lah. The moment I hear it, I know, okay, it's time to play Halo. Yeah, and if you remember the scene when you first play Halo, right? This song comes out when they show the rings of Halo, and then when it zooms
I
out,
remember
and
their
you see
rings. Yeah.
the autumn, and then you see the rings. You're like mind blown. What's going on? So I think it sticks out to me. I love songs like soundtracks that the moment I hear the theme song, right, or hear the song, I instantly know. I remember the feeling I had when I played it, and I also remember I immediately know the game I'm
I
playing.
see. I see. Okay. Very cool. It's more atmospheric and experimental sounding actually. It's not very
Correct.
orchestral.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you can't even hear like distinct melody points.
Yeah.
But I remember like when you play the game and then there's this the first map you go to is like a jump. It's like when you first land in Halo, there's a jungle map and you follow it, and then you hear the drum beat. You're like, oh, I'm on an adventure. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I know it's very hard, right? So why don't I give you a clue?
You have to guess it in order because I think if it's in order, it's very difficult. Yeah. So
Okay. Why don't two of you finish your top 5 first, and then you can guess mine.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have to do it in order.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
John, you're 4th.
Sure. Wait, let me find my document again. Where is it?
I'll tell you. It's World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
The Teldrassil's team, right? The World 3?
So that one is the
World 3,
Night
sorry.
Elf theme. Yeah, it's the World
Yes.
3 theme that is now burned down, unfortunately. But it's the
Spoilers.
starting zone of the night. Yeah, spoiler alert. It's the starting zone for Night Elves. I think it's a beautiful piece of music. It's got a lot of harps. And it's just very mystical.
You've done a cover of it, right? Have you done a cover of it?
I don't think I did a cover of this. Did I? I can't remember. Maybe I did.
Let me check
Yeah.
your...
I haven't visited that YouTube page in a while, but yeah, I like that one a lot. I love these kinds of like fairy
you
magical.
did an acoustic cover of it. That's
Okay,
what
yes,
I kind
I
of
did.
remember. It was 3 years ago though.
Ooh.
Yeah,
The part where the vocals come in,
yeah,
that part is good.
it's nice, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
Some good stuff.
I remember this because when you're a night elf and you're trying to kill the saber-toothed tigers
Yeah.
and you're jump flipping, this is the song that always plays right at the back.
Yes.
Teldrassil.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So
It's a good piece.
Okay, Ian, you're 4th.
All right, my 4th is actually the Dota 2 main theme song. So I'll post it here. So I play a lot of Dota. Like Dota is probably my most played game. But
yes.
the moment I hear it starts with like a huge
Yeah.
you just hear like it starts with a huge sound. And then it's actually very similar to Halo in the sense that it's quite it's more the feeling than an actual melody.
I see.
Yeah. I think John's starting to see like a pattern in like, oh, you like this kind of song.
No, but no, actually, it's more melodic than the Halo one. But
Yeah.
what's interesting is that Jason Hayes is the same composer that did the Teldrassil theme. That I
Oh,
just told you
really?
about. Yeah.
Oh.
I did some research before sharing the doc with you because I didn't know who wrote some of these.
Yeah.
And like I said, Blizzard is a very big. They have
Yeah.
a lot of outsourcing and everything with the soundtracks, but it's the same guy as this
Yeah.
Dota team. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when it hits and I think 20 seconds it's like woo, then the whole drums comes in.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready to play Dota. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway. Okay, your third one?
Alright, John, your 3rd.
The third one is another World of Warcraft one. It's from the Legion expansion, and it's the music that plays, the epic piece that plays when you're in the loading screen. It's a 10-minute long suite, but yeah, it's got so many. It's basically like a suite for the whole expansion, and it goes through many different ups and downs, and I think it's just beautiful, a beautiful piece of music. Very
Correct me
interesting.
if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but all the WoW opening theme when you load up the game, the first part it's a variation of the original theme, right?
That's correct.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just that it
that's
has
correct.
something
Yeah.
different that's thematic with the expansion, correct?
Correct. They usually add something and then they take it somewhere else. So out of all the ones that I've heard, I still like this one
Yeah.
the most.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, it was your first expansion lah, so definitely.
So maybe that's why, I was thinking about this actually. I was wondering if maybe it's not that the music is fantastic, but it just holds a significance to you.
Yeah,
Like so.
I think it's fine.
Chu is
Yeah.
talking about that as well, basically when he's sharing, and Marv probably when we guess yours.
So I mean, okay, when we did the 3x3 thing with Chris, we did tell him that it's not just the best games of each genre, it's the best game for you, like games that have the most significance for you. So it may not be like the top rated game, right? Yeah, so I guess like in this sense, because Legion was your very first WoW expansion, I would say that it definitely had a significant impact in terms of, leaving a mark on you lah. Right, like you click on the play, and then WoW loads up, and then you hear the music.
That music plays. Yeah.
It's very.
So what about you, Chu? Yeah.
It's very Skyrim-ish. There's the male choir comes in like at 1:33, and I was like, because when you first hear it, right, you're like, ooh, immediately you think of the baddie because it sounds very like ominous, right?
Sounds evil,
but
ominous.
Yeah, and actually compared to other expansions, like if you hear the Mists of Pandaria one,
I know I've heard that one many times too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, right? Because it's every expansion has their own like feel supposedly. So
that one is
more
Asian, right?
Yeah, it's more Asian.
It was more Asian for sure. Yeah.
So that's awesome. My third one is actually the crystal theme from.
I was waiting for Final Fantasy to come up. I was waiting for.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's everyone's top. That's what my guess is. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So this crystal theme is actually not a FF7 thing. Actually, it's a whole Final Fantasy. It plays throughout the whole Final Fantasy. So it's if you play Final FF14,
yes, you would have heard this.
This is the first song you hear when you start the loading screen. When you choose your server,
yes,
you hear
this
song.
I remember this. Yeah, it's always in the starting, right?
Yes.
Normally it's in the starting, right?
Not in every game, but most soundtracks of FF will have the prelude or the crystal theme, like what they call it. Yeah. So the moment I hear the dun, 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 the harp, right, I'm like, ooh, I'm in Final Fantasy land, and obviously it's done by the amazing Nobuo Uematsu.
All right.
You will see a theme in the next few or so. Yeah. This requires no explanation.
Okay, John, your second one, right? Yeah, second one.
My second one is actually from StarCraft. And I think about this theme a lot every now and then. I think of how awesome it is, how contemporary it is in terms of that it's not an orchestral thing at all. It's very I guess it's rock. It's rock. It's got a bit of rock, a bit of folk country in it. It's got like production elements as well. It's got like some synth, really cool, like organic sounding stuff. I didn't understand how he did it when I was playing the game, but now that I'm doing music for a living, I understand. I can piece it apart in my head, and I think the decisions that he made creatively were very cool because it wasn't traditional. He didn't follow a template. It was very creative. All the sounds that he chose and everything. So yeah, it's a StarCraft Terran theme. So there are many themes. There's the Zerg theme, Protoss, and there's a bunch of other music. But the Terran theme really comes back to me because it's just so cool as a piece of music. I think it still stands on its own today because of how unique it is.
Yeah, that's really cool. I never really thought about it. The comment, first YouTube comment says South Korea's national anthem.
Indeed, yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I remember this not because of StarCraft 1, but because I think in StarCraft 2, the first scene where Jim Raynor is in the bar, I think they play like a version or remix of this.
Oh, probably.
So there's that whole country, folk country rock theme.
Yes. The Terrans are very like earthy and ground. That was the sounds. Those were the sounds that they used to convey the Terrans.
Yeah. Okay, my number 2. Now I'm purely Japanese really. No more.
That's what I thought. I knew it, and I bet Marv is no different.
Yeah. So my next one is Monster Hunter's their theme song called Proof of a Hero.
This is the new game, right? This is the new Monster Hunter, isn't it?
This is the monster. This is a new. I chose the Rise version of Proof of a Hero, but Proof of a Hero is actually a very old song. it's actually done like it's basically what the Crystal theme is to FF. The Proof of a Hero is what you hear, and the cool thing about it is that you actually hear Proof of a Hero during the Olympics opening ceremony. I think it came in with so the cool thing about the Olympic ceremony is that they used a lot of gaming.
Yes, and anime also, and anime soundtracks. Yeah,
because I mean, you already have such a wealth of like awesome soundtracks. Why would you
compose
want to
something,
recompose a new
just
one, right?
adapt it, right? Yeah.
And every country has their own theme, right? So you might as well just reuse. And Proof of a Hero is like the moment you hear, for me, like when I hear Proof of a Hero, I'm like, all right, let's go slay some
let's go kill some monsters.
Let's go kill some monsters. All right. And this one is different because this Proof of a Hero is very Asian inspired. Because Rise is an Asian inspired monster. So you hear, I mean, you still hear the orchestral pieces of like the harps and the strings, but there's also like Asian inspired instruments, which I kind of like.
Interesting choice.
Yeah. I know. I bet you didn't expect this, but
I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be Final Fantasy all the way to the end. After that,
I thought so too. But when I heard Rise, when I heard Proof of a Hero, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Monster Hunter. And I recently fell into Monster Hunter. Like I would say the last 3 years since Rise and World. So it really resonates with me more lah. Maybe it's recency bias.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Monster Hunter soundtracks and everything, but for some reason it just it's not on my list at all. Like it's really not the style. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but it's just how it is.
Because you're not into it, you didn't play it.
Right? I did for a little while. I tried it.
He tried WoW.
Oh,
he tried WoW. Yeah.
I think so. I've tried many games over the years when I can, but not all the soundtracks stay with me, or at least like make it up the list.
Monster Hunter is not a game that you play alone.
Yeah, for sure.
But but neither is like Ark or WoW. Or those.
It's okay, John. When we're retired, like 60 years old, then we can game together again.
Sure. Yeah. Ark had an awesome soundtrack, but I don't think it's awesome. I don't think it would beat out some of these other ones, in my opinion. From just like the qualities that these ones have. So yeah.
Okay, and your top one?
My top one is a surprising one. I think it's from Red Alert, the very old game, and it's a song called Hell's March, and it's kind of a rock sound infused. I can't remember if it has any orchestral elements, but it's very produced like rock track.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was such an epic track because it represented the game. It represented the Soviets. When you thought of the game, and in recent times, the composer, Frank Klepacki, I didn't know this, but I think a few years ago he did a live concert where he performed the songs, all the Red Alert soundtracks live with a band, and it was so awesome to watch because it was like a heavy metal. It was like almost like heavy metal rock concert. It was such a treat. I think the song is really cool, and for me it holds a special place because I love the game, and I don't know what else to say about it. Great piece of rock soundtrack music.
That because it starts with like a commander shouting something, right? I
have no idea what he's saying. Still, I'm probably someone has translated it. Yeah.
The comments are so funny.
We don't know what he's saying. Maybe we don't want to know what he's saying. One of those.
Like, is he shouting in Russian? You think he's shouting in Russian?
I don't know. Does the comment say? I don't know. I don't have it open now, but yeah, it's
the comments are so funny. The comments is like unit lost.
Yeah, it's all from the game. Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about Red Alert, but now that I play, I'm like, oh, dude, I still remember like playing this game and hearing the soundtrack.
Yes, I still remember playing it too, and like what I said, maybe the music isn't fantastic per se, but it's just the association it has. These days I'm more for like what's unique, what stands out, So I think some of these music pieces actually stand out for me as being very unique. So yeah.
Yep. Nice. That's a
drum roll. What's your number one?
My number one is probably not going to be a big surprise, but I chose this song called To Zanakan. It's a FF10.
Yep. I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
If you're a gamer, you don't know this.
So I was debating between To Zanakan, whether it's at the top of my list or not. But then I realized that I really like this is one song where the moment I hear it, there's another FF song which the moment I hear it, I already know which numbered FF it belongs to. But when I hear to Zanakan, when you first hear that, it's a song that when you play on the piano, like that's enough. You don't even need anything.
Yeah,
Just
I'm listening to it now.
just the melody is enough to like make you remember the memories. And okay, spoiler for those of you who never played FF10 before. But basically, the ending of FF10 is that Titus, like he disappears, like he dies, lah, to save, Zanakan, lah, basically. Yeah. So when they play this same soundtrack at the start and at the end when he dies, you're like, oh, it hits you in the feels.
Yeah.
So this is my yeah. I have two honorable mentions, and I don't know whether you wanted to go through that, but for my two honorable mentions, I'll just go through really quickly. First one is the Super Mario theme song. So the
Yeah.
right, and so I remember when I first learned guitar, I think I heard a friend play this on the guitar, just the melody, and of course added with some chords, but playing mostly the melody, and I was blown away. I was like, that's a song I want to learn how to play.
It's difficult to play. Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes all over the keyboard, right? All over the fretboard, right? Dun 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 dun. Then yeah, there's a lot of notes. So that's one, and the other one is called Liberi Fatali. It's actually
FF8.
FF8.
Yeah, FF8. It's the one with the Vitos.
It's a super choral place. Yeah. Don't worry, hear the do do do. You already know. Yeah, so this is my other one. It's very orchestral and very choral. But I think it's also by Uematsu. So that's his style, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Okay. Anyway.
So it's my turn now.
Sure.
It's finally my turn.
I'll let John guess first,
Okay,
but
I was thinking we do it this way. So I have 5, obviously. I have 1 honorable mention. So 6 lah. Okay, I'll give a clue, and then both of you can just say what you think it is.
Okay.
Okay. So for number 5, I'll say it's the clue I'll give is Nintendo. So both of you can give your answer, and then I'll say who's correct.
You go first, John. You're the guest. I'll give you an advantage.
I mean, I would say Super Mario, but
Yeah. I'm gonna say the Zelda theme song.
Okay, so Chris also says it's a Zelda game, and all of you are wrong.
Oh.
Okay, let me just link it.
Luigi's theme song or something.
Animal Crossing.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll give you a second as a chance, another chance.
Okay.
Both of you.
What's the price? Mac Spicy.
Yeah,
Okay.
FedEx and McSpicy over.
Okay.
Nintendo. That's not.
Come on, guys. What
Sonic?
do we play as
Is Sonic
kids?
Nintendo? No.
Sonic Sega.
Sega.
Sonic. Unless you tell me it's
Pokemon?
Pokemon, yeah.
Is that your final answer?
I guess so. But Pokemon is not really Nintendo, leh. But okay, I guess you can call it.
I mean, you played on the Nintendo, right? Yeah, but yes, it is. It's Pokemon. And it's not just any Pokemon, it's the red and blue. The original. Yes, correct. The opening, correct. That's right. That's the exact one I was thinking.
The final.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that one's like really iconic. Yeah. I mean, if you were a gamer from our time, the 90s, right? The 90s, you would definitely know it. Yeah. So the funny thing is that I never actually owned a Game Boy. I played Pokemon on emulators. Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's a piece of my childhood that I wish I could rectify. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Okay, I tell you what. I'll give both of you of you 1. Okay. So both of you get. Hold on. I'm gonna just change your score.
Now I'm listening to the soundtrack. Yeah,
It's good, right? It's good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's so iconic. Okay. Number 4. Okay, how do I give a clue? I think it's a bit obvious if I give a clue, but I have to give a clue, right?
No.
Okay, I know.
We can both get it wrong.
The clue is cardboard box.
Oh, that's too easy already.
Too easy?
Really?
Oh, John doesn't know?
No.
John doesn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know you were. Okay, then I guess since he doesn't know. Your MGS soundtrack.
Yes.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid. Oh, no.
Yes. So, what I have is the main theme of MGS.
What does it sound like?
I'll just send it to you guys. Yes, and Chris got it too. So, have you all heard it before? I'm sure you've heard it before. Do you play MGS?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's pretty iconic. Yeah. So John, you never played Metal Gear, right?
No. Yeah.
So I played almost all the Metal Gear except, so ironically, I played almost all the Metal Gear except the latest one.
I never played 5.
The Phantom Pain one. And the thing is
5.
that I own it. I actually bought it. So Metal Gear Solid 5 came out there was a prequel called Ground Zeroes on the PS4, and I played that one. That was like I can't remember. It's like a couple of hours, and then after I played that, then I bought the actual game, which was Phantom Pain, right? And then I didn't play it. It's still on my PS now.
Oh, come on, you should go play it.
So I guess it's
so
part
good.
of my backlog. Yeah. So sure, I'm gonna give you 2.
Yeah.
Give you
I think the story behind Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes is because Konami wanted Kojima to create a game in 2 years, and he said, "Screw you! I'm not gonna make a game in 3 years. Like it doesn't. My games don't."
So he gave a prelude.
So he Ground Zeroes first, and then after
he went to do Phantom Pain properly, right? Yeah. So I mean, he's gone now, right? I mean, no, he's not gone, but he left the company already. Yeah. So now he has his own stuff. Death Stranding, right, was by him.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3. Wow. How to give a clue?
But we'll get it immediately, lah.
If I need to think of a obscure enough clue because it's kind of obvious.
Okay, tell what. Let's just guess this. Even if we get it wrong, it's fine.
Really? No lah. You can't. There's so many different types of music, right?
I was just gonna run through all the Final Fantasy games.
There's too many though. There's too many Nobuo Uematsu's.
Okay. Okay. I'll give a clue. It's a trilogy. It's a trilogy. I can't see where it's from. It's a bit too obvious.
No. It's okay. Just say it's trilogy. I think it's fine.
Do you want to know the genre? How about the genre?
Sure.
I think I'm not gonna be able to guess it because my knowledge of games is not broad.
So why don't we I'll give John
like
the. Okay. Ian, why don't you take off your earpiece and then I'll give John another clue. John, it's a science fiction trilogy, third-person shooter. Okay, John, don't say what I told you. So I'll let you go first.
He doesn't know.
I don't know.
I also don't know.
Oh no.
Is it Mass Effect? No.
Yes, it's Mass Effect.
Oh.
Okay, but
which
one? And which soundtrack?
John, did you play Mass Effect?
I'll give John the point because he guessed Mass Effect. But for you to get the point, Ian, you need to guess which.
Yeah, why don't you guess that? Because
you have to guess which.
Is it ME3 the intro?
Yes. Yes. Okay, not the intro, but it's ME3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the one where you see the little boy and it makes that is it? Okay, you said to me. I think I know which one you're talking.
Okay. Yes, it's ME3. It's called Leaving Earth.
Yeah. That's the one that as you leave.
The one that has like the Inception type of music. Has
exactly.
Yeah. So John, I really love this piece of music. So this I actually like studied to this piece of music. I like put it on a 10-hour loop and then just like let it play and then study at home.
So it's a lot of piano. Interesting.
Yeah, but it ramps up later on.
It has this weird. That's when the Reapers come, right? There's this huge. You'll hear it later.
Yeah, it's an Inception.
How do you study to this?
I mean, I wasn't blasting it, but
there's a part at 30 seconds, right? Yeah. John, are you there yet?
I must have missed it. I heard something coming.
Where it goes like, it's like a super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you study to this?
It's quite shocking to someone studying in a quiet library, right? Like suddenly have a brass thing blaring in your earphones. But I guess you must have been like, you fill out the right answer or something like.
Yeah, but I really love this piece because if you play the game, basically the first part of ME3, you if not wrong, the Reapers attack Earth, right? Yeah, so it's like right at the start, and then everybody has to leave. So you're like trying to escape, and then like the whole music comes in lah. Okay, so we're tied at 2-2. Sorry, I can't give you that Chu. I mean, you got ME3, but you didn't get the.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed that you didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2. The clue is MMO.
Oh, that's
Yeah, the clue is MMO.
But
Okay, fine. It's a wild thing, but which one?
Which?
Okay. I'm just gonna guess Lich King.
Do you know the title of the song?
I mean, if I can Google it, I'll see the title.
I'm gonna guess it's actually the main theme song.
Okay. So are those your final answers? Chris, do you have a? Chris in the
where's
chat?
Chris?
Chris in the
Chris
chat.
is
Do you
definitely
have
in the chat. Chris is super active in
Do
the
you
chat.
have a guess?
You know what the main theme song I'm talking about, right? Dun, 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 the one like when you see the gates of.
Yeah. So Chris, I think Chris says something like you. He says something from classic. Okay, the answer, and the point goes to John.
Dang it. Lich
So
King,
it's the Lich King theme. It's called Arthur's My Son.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes, yeah.
a good one.
So it's the starting cinematic of Wrath of the Lich King, and there is like a narration of his father talking to him when he was born.
Yes,
Yeah.
the singing. I remember.
You one, right?
It was so good. Like I get goosebumps even now. I still get goosebumps listening to it. It's so good.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Good piece. That's a good piece of music.
Oh no, John is leading.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. Okay, good. I'm gonna. Is your first one FF?
Yes, my first one's FF.
Okay.
You win already, lah. I don't know.
No,
Which
I'm gonna get it wrong because usually my overconfidence tends to be wrong. Just like what with Chris. Is your first one One Winged Angel?
No.
It's not. See, I knew it.
John, do you know any FF7
without googling,
music?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I
Okay.
think
Why don't you Google FF7 music and then you just guess from there?
Tell me it's the bombing mission.
You're just gonna win anyway, because you're 3.
Yeah.
Maybe Chris would know. Maybe Chris would know.
maybe Chris wins. Oh man, I don't know. I mean,
Oh, is it Ares team?
Yes, it's Ares team.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that was.
I was,
It's not One Winged Angel.
It's not
like
an angel.
I was going to say One Winged Angel because that seemed like a title that would be, like the World of Warcraft song. It seems
So,
to have.
okay.
I know.
Like I like One Winged Angel, but Ares team Ares
I don't
is how do you say? Because okay, when I played it, she was called Ares, right? I mean,
Okay.
if you played, so some history is that when they did the localization for Japanese to English, they
changed
messed
the
up her name and they call her Aeris, Aeris, but her actual name is Aerith, Aerith. So I grew up with Aeris all the way until like I think like recently,
I think Crisis Core. Was it a Crisis Core?
yeah, maybe Crisis Core. Like when we were like much older, then I realized that it was wrong. But yeah, anyway, so that's just some history lah. I think it was like for me, it was really impactful because, spoiler alert, this team like plays in its entirety when she dies. Yeah, John, do you know who Ares is? Have you seen pictures of her? Okay,
No, I
do you know
don't.
who Sephiroth is?
Big Bad, is it?
The guy with the huge sword in the black color like cloak.
One Winged Angel is Sephiroth's team.
Yes. So
That's
he
what-
he kills off Ares in the game, like at the end of the first act, and she dies permanently. Like she literally dies permanently.
She doesn't show up again, basically.
And when you are playing at that time, so I started playing it when I was like primary 5, around there,
When you kill this Choku.
and you don't expect her to die because like you're playing an RPG and you have like how many characters, like 5 or 6 characters in your party at that time lah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think that any of them would be killed off permanently. I would say it's my first experience of Game of Thrones. You invest like so much time into her, you level up because
And then
like, she was in my party all the way,
Yeah.
and then suddenly like she just dies. She gets
Your
killed
healer
off. Like,
dies.
she gets like think she gets stabbed.
She
Right?
gets stabbed in the
Yeah,
she gets
she gets
stabbed in the
stabbed.
chest.
Yeah,
She
in the
jumps
torso
from the
lah.
sky.
He jumps down and like stabs her with his knife.
Yeah.
Not knife, sorry, his sword. And then
So,
and then after that, right, you're like, she'll probably get revived. You know, they'll like cast like life and then cure.
oh my
the,
God, she's your healer. How can she heal
yeah,
herself?
so she's the healer of the party, right? And then when this two starts, she's gone. Like what? Yeah, so
Three.
yeah, I mean, it had quite a profound impact on
Dang
me
it.
at that time, lah.
Yeah, it's like loss, right? I mean, it's not real
Yeah.
loss, but it's like your sense of attachment, and suddenly like you can't,
Yeah,
it doesn't come back. And but the thing is that to progress the game, you have to move on, right? You have to let go of that.
yes.
that-
So
that
if you,
initial feeling of loss, yeah.
I mean, okay, this is a bit of spoiler territory, but you know of the remake, right? They remade FF7.
Yes.
So the end of FF7 remake, chapter 1, so-called chapter 1, ends at like, I would say like 25% or 30% of the first act of the original FF7. And at the end of that, right, like of the remake, the story has been changed.
Oh,
Yeah.
does she live? Or they
So
still
no,
we don't know. We don't know.
She
We don't know
doesn't.
if
They haven't reached that point yet. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they review in a way that they kind of play with time a little bit as well.
Yes.
Kind of say that basically the timeline has changed, so she might not
Yeah.
die.
So they keep giving
like
like
Loki.
visions of they keep giving visions
Yeah,
of the
like
original game. Yeah.
I see.
But we're only like 30% of maybe like the first part of the original game, like this one. So there are 3 days lah. Yeah.
I
So
see.
people are thinking, oh, maybe she's gonna live this time. But I'm
Yeah.
feeling she's just gonna die again.
But they might just troll you and just kill her anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my number 1.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Wait. Before we, you want to talk about honor mention, or can we just move on and we can just end it?
My honorable mention is Sonic,
Oh.
because it was the very first video game I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So John
I
actually gets
think
4
that's
because he said Sonic so just now.
I did say Sonic randomly. I don't know why. but
did
we
say
never
Sonic.
talked about Sonic before, but you
Yeah.
know, I don't know why I said that, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. To end it off, right? I think we've already gone quite long. So to end it off, I just have rapid fire questions. So the rapid fire question is very fast, John. I'll just give you
Okay.
this or that,
Mm.
and within 1 second, you just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. So this is just for John. Okay, then we'll call it after that. Okay, you ready, John?
Ready.
All right. First one: coffee or water?
Water.
So do you not drink coffee at all?
I do, but I prefer water.
Water. Okay. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Morning or evening?
Evening.
Melee or range?
Ranged.
Combat or stealth?
Ooh. Combat.
Machine gun or shotgun?
Machine gun.
Zombie or vampire?
Vampire.
Ooh. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate. Always chocolate.
All right.
Hot or alliance?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What?
Alliance.
For the heart.
Sylvanas or
no.
Tyrande?
Yeah, exactly.
Sylvanas or Terran?
Sylvanas or Tyrande?
Come on, there's only one correct answer, bro.
Because
It's Tyrande.
No, it's not. It's Sylvanas.
See, waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Rice or noodles?
Noodles.
iOS or Android?
iOS.
Oh,
That took a while.
beer or wine?
Wine.
Or neither?
Wine. I
Wine
think
is
probably
it,
wine.
Okay. Ninja or pirates?
Ninja.
Guitar or piano?
Guitar.
Toilet paper over or under?
Oh, over.
Yeah. That's the only correct answer, by the way. Skydiving or bungee?
Neither. I don't
Neither.
have the
The thrill. Rap or rock?
rock.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Okay, that's all I have.
Yay.
Thank you guys for watching. Thanks, John, for joining us. We hope you have
Thanks for
fun.
having me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
remember, you
did.
have to
Thank
join
you.
my next podcast where we just talk about music. And
Yeah.
Any last
It'll just be the
things?
two of us. Yeah.
Yeah, just two of us. Marv will
And
be
just talking
our
about
host.
Two music friends.
Music friend. Second podcast.
Anything you want to say to people in the chat?
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you had fun. And yeah, I'm always surprised by people's, I guess choices with music, especially. It's always fun to see what people like and for what reason. So it was fun to know like what Chu's and Marv's choices were. Yeah, it really surprised me.
Yeah, it was great to catch up with you, lah. I mean,
Yeah.
you are halfway across the world from us, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If not, thanks guys for watching and thanks John for coming. We'll see you guys next time.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye.